Welcome to the good, the bad, and the sequel. This is the movie podcast. We're typically talking sequels in two parts and interviewing folks that worked on the sequel. But this is a special bonus review, a hall pass from one of our listeners, Nicole Loftus. She said back in March for my birthday, can you cover Carrie 2, Rage, Carrie 2, or one of the what was it called? Carrie 2. Don't Make Me Cry was like the original name of the script or something. I have no idea. But I went down a rabbit hole earlier because I was like, man, Finch looks really young in this movie versus the other one. So we'll get into that. But before I talk about anything more that has to do with this movie that pretty much was like the culmination of late 90s horror, I got to introduce you to my partner in the sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm okay, Doug. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good because I finally feel vindicated. Obviously, Nicole picked this sequel, but I do. There's so many times that we are covering sequels that I've seen, and I'm like, I remember liking that, and then I go watch it. I'm like, oh, it sucked. This one, I remember it, and it was just as good as I remember.
Well, I hate to, but I'm gonna say okay. So I'm gonna say it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
I think it was kind of lame. I mean, one, the fact that it's Carrie 2, but there's no Carrie in it. Like it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like they just. It's one of those sequels where they're just using a name. I mean, I know they try to like you don't know the connection.
Oh, I think they connected pretty good.
Hold on. They connect. I mean, 20 years difference. You don't know that you have a sister. I mean, that's they.
No,
they
you didn't even watch the movie.
I did watch it.
Oh.
I did watch it, but listen, you don't know the connection until later on in the movie, right? So the whole time you're watching basically a remake of the first movie. I don't know. The ending is
no.
What do you? Yes, yes.
Early on that there's some connection to Carrie because she moves something.
No,
early.
No. Oh, okay. So just because she moves something, it means there's a connection to Carrie?
Yeah, the name of the movie's Carrie
no,
too.
No, I understand that.
There has to be some weave of how they're related.
Okay, so the girl Tina in Friday the 13th, she moves things too, right? Was it Tina?
So if there was a movie called Tina 2, Electric Boogaloo, we would know,
Okay.
This is the sequel to the Friday the 13th Part 7.
Okay, just because there's a relationship connection, it's not Carrie. It's just stupid to use the name, and the movie is basically the same. It's the same. The ending is the same as the first movie. I mean, like, listen, again, it's not a terrible movie. Some of the kills are ridiculous. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. First of all, the lead actress, I think it's her first movie ever. She was okay.
Ever.
Yeah, and she was okay.
I thought she was pretty good for her first role in a big. This is probably a decent budget. The cast has people in it. It has London was still pretty big. Brad was coming off of Home Improvement.
Okay, can you name another movie that he's in? Like, I mean, like
who?
Brad?
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. He was a high schooler in that in 2005.
Again, based on the movies we've been watching lately, this movie's a home run, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. Again, the lead actress didn't do it for me. I think, she definitely didn't have the look of a lead actress. And I mean, I don't know.
Well, does Sissy Spacek have that look? I think they were looking for that kind of outcast kind of looking girl.
But the star football player is going to, again, that was probably the most unrealistic thing in the movie based on every single 90s movie that there is out there.
Well, that's pretty much, I got to look it up, but I don't know what came out first. Was it, which one is that? Not She's All That. Was She's All That out before this movie?
Wait a second. That girl's smoking and She's All That. What's her name? Rachel?
No, I'm talking about the plot, dude.
No, I get it.
The whole plot of the movie was having a bet and betting on girls that you can get with. I'm saying that's the same plot as
it is
what drives this whole movie.
Correct. Except it wasn't a point system. But this is based on a true story. The plot, I think it happened. couple, I guess either right around the time this happened, but there were a bunch of kids, like football players, that did this to girls, and I don't know, they had like parents that were, again, very similar here, that they had prominent parents that got
Wow.
them out of trouble. So like that scenario with the point system, that was a true thing with the kids. So
That's nuts.
yeah, except I don't think.
There's some crazy stuff that happens in this movie that I'm like, oh my god, I fear for my kids when they're in high school. Like
Okay.
that whole last ending party. Like, just
Oh.
think about, this is '99 with a hidden camera and everything, which we'll get into it later. But like, think about what you could do now in 2025. You have like AI videos of the kid you don't like doing something with.
I am so
cartoon characters.
Listen to me. Based on college and my fraternity and everything else, thank goodness there were no camera phones. Think about like your partying back in the days. You could tell your stories, but imagine having the proof. I would almost think one of the things that also bothered me in this movie is you have, I forget her name from the first movie, who's in this movie. Now, she had probably the most traumatic experience possible. I mean, that's an awful experience. She's going to be okay being a guidance counselor to kids. Like, I don't think that's the right job for her. Like,
I know, because she was a bully in the first one, right?
That's what I mean.
Luckily survived.
Correct. So not only did she luckily survive, but she saw her entire school burned to death. Right? Like, didn't she burn down a school? So I can't imagine you can get over that pretty easy. Like, I don't think that's something that I think that's going to be something that sticks with you forever. Any kind of traumatic experience is going to stay with you. Your entire school gets burnt down, and that's not going to mess with you like forever, for life. I mean,
it's not like, hey, where are you going to work? I'm like, hey, I live in the same town, but I work way from apartment school. Well, she's like within like seconds of it. Because again, just like we covered last week in Inspector Gadget 2, buildings don't sit like that too often. The fact that she's like, yeah, here's this school that burned down 25 years ago. Yeah, they keep it as maybe a memorial. I don't know.
It's all rubble. Like, they didn't do anything to fix that up. I mean, yeah. And here's another, I mean, again, it's nothing really, but how come every movie, anytime they talk about like a mental institution, it's always Arkham? The name is
I don't think it's always that. That's a Batman thing, and maybe some writers use that.
Was it Arkham or was
it's Batman? It's Arkham in this one, yeah.
It is, right. So no, I've heard that name many times in movies. Like, why? Like, they can't come up with their own name? Okay. But this is not Batman. This is Carrie.
I know it's not Batman, but when you're a writer, like some people that we talked to before, you want to put in something really cool, maybe like an Easter egg or something that maybe drove you to do it. What's wrong with Arkham?
It's lame. I mean, I think it's lame. I think I don't think you're using creative. You could come up with any name, and that's
yeah, you could. But the guy's like, man, I love Batman. Let me put Batman.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay.
The Dream Team. If you wrote a movie, you'd be like,
no, I wouldn't.
What should the name of the street be? Ricardi Ave.
It makes it comical now. Is it the Dream Team? Were they in Arkham?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
But there was something that I watched recently that did that. Not just this, and I'm like,
I know. As I said that, it comes up a lot. Like it's like the name to go to anytime you talk about a mental institution. And I mean, I don't know how true it is, but like anytime you see patients at a mental institution, they really are like I wonder in real life, I mean, in real mental institutions, do they have people that are just walking around like that, or like really off the wall, mingling with each other, and like it's almost like a circus when it comes to like these movies, right? And I can't imagine real life being like that at a mental institution. I feel like,
I can tell you, I've been to one before. A friend of ours, his late mother, Chris Moore's mom, worked at a place in Watchung. She didn't work on the fully crazy floor, but she took us up there one time when we were stoned, I think, to mess with us. And they were like mildly like out there. She went up to a guy and just told him, oh, this is Doug. He's going to go to Harvard. And this guy like did a lot of like drugs, and something happened in like his late 20s and he went to Harvard. So he was telling me all these like crazy things, just like explaining like where I should eat and where I should park at Harvard, like all of these things. And he was like very serious. And then he just like stopped talking and was just looking at me. and then he like started again. So I'm not saying that it is like that. I was on more, obviously I didn't fear for myself, but I I can imagine it being this nuts.
I just feel like, and again, every movie does that. Like, again, you have a Christopher Lloyd who thinks he's a doctor, walking around. Like, I don't know if they have that, outside of maybe unless you have dementia and, but
There's
that's a
crazy
different,
people like that in real life that
I,
dress up like
I,
people's jobs and go into places.
but all in one place where they're just walking around, like, like a guy juggling in the background thinking he's a clown. And this guy, like, I just feel like it's just, I don't know.
I love that they don't care about it, obviously, because those places are like state funded. Obviously, there's probably ones that people would pay for and get better care, but it is always so funny. There's like terrible everything. There's terrible, the food, the decor, and in this one, they have like very strict. When you walk into the building, you get like patted down, all of that. You have to check in and out, but not near the gate that's right to cars in the parking lot where you could run.
No,
Like that was able and gum.
And it looks like there's no secure. I mean, literally, like the one patient is like all over her. Like there's no fear. There's no security. Like I don't know. All right, let's get it.
Budget cuts.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I don't know. Hey, listen, you know what? It's based on the way they just like they show them how like they're always playing. There's always someone playing chess or checkers, and like always like I think it would be fun to work at one of these places because for the most part, they don't seem violent. They just seem like very silly and like, so I think it'd be like almost like watching a TV sitcom every day. It's like, you never know what you're going to get.
And you get board games. Can you be able to play board games where you play movie trivia and just like
all day long
blow these guys out of the water? It's like, who starred in Married with Children as Al Bundy? And they're like, potato salad. And you're like, all right, I think I got this one. I got it. All right. So this movie, quick title card, man. I always think it's so fascinating. It's like, when do you use it? How quick do we have the opening scene? But we get like this crazy lady, which if you think about it, we don't really know the mom's background, like Carrie's mom, too much. We just know she's in a mental hospital, like right in the beginning. But like the fact that she starts like painting everything red, like painting the windows, painting her daughter, like why? What happened to her?
Well. First of all, I was almost getting like a biblical thing out of that. Like she was painting a mark. Because she was only doing one line.
Oh,
right.
Oh, yeah,
so,
true, yeah.
So she was only doing one line. So it was almost like trying to like whatever is going on in her head, like trying to like pass over this area because she's like putting that like one line to paint. Like I don't know. It was just that's what I was thinking. Who knows what it was? I think that she was going crazy because of she was seeing the daughter do certain things.
Oh, probably right. Moving stuff,
right?
Playing with,
and the daughter. Well, the thing is also like I don't know if she realized that the daughter was doing it because the daughter didn't realize she was doing it, right?
Yeah,
like she didn't. So like I mean, door slamming. I mean, so if you don't realize your daughter's doing it, and the daughter doesn't realize it, you're thinking a ghost is in the house doing all this crazy stuff. So that's
and she
my
did,
guess.
and she probably thought it was the devil or spirits because the one thing she shouted when she was painting says, "You can't have my daughter," and you're like, "Whoa, this
right."
is...
So maybe she knows the daughter's doing it and think the daughter's possessed, and so that's why. So that's why when she was making that line of paint across the room, I was thinking like that's like stay away from this area. It's like, but then she paints the daughter's face.
She does, yeah. Stay away from this area too, the daughter. Then she starts painting herself, and it's like, oh, that's
yeah.
But yeah, then the cops come in. A guy comes up to the little girl. Yeah.
So why didn't the girl? Okay, she obviously called 911. The little girl, but she's leaving the paint dripping off her face. Like what? Like wouldn't you like clean your face a little bit? Like wouldn't a cop come over? Oh here, like let me clean your face a little bit. Like no, the entire scene. One. She's leaving the paint on her face, but two, they're letting her watch her mom be taken away.
I know. Not shielding the face, or
not shielding, or say, "Hey, let's go inside," right? Like, and then they said, "Yeah, we're gonna find a good home for you." What? That fast? You're gonna find a foster family that fast?
I know. Yeah.
And again,
those are the people that are in the foster system. These parents,
well, that's another problem. I mean, but yeah, I mean, like, but the fact is, like, as you're watching your mom being taken away forcefully, he's literally saying, "All right, we're gonna find you a new family." as she's watching her mom go away. Like this poor girl is watching her mom like have a mental breakdown. Why? Like, you go, and yeah, I mean, and again, she's sitting there with paint still dripping on her face this entire time.
Hey, little girl, focus on me. Don't look at your mom. Go pack a bag. We're going to find some randos at the local bar. But it is funny. Well, like, not funny, but it is scary. You think about the foster system, the people that want to do that because they get paid. Like, I worked with a lady one time that was like, oh, I try to take as many as I can. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's so nice of you. She's like, and she's talking to this other girl, like I'm like sort of eavesdropping. She's like, yeah, for each kid you get this, and if they're a stage, you get an extra this. I'm like, oh my God, that's nuts to hear you talk about these kids like it's like a job.
You know, it's awful. But at the same time, like I know like people that have been forced parents, and the hard part is also is like, especially when you have young ones, it's like an animal. I can never be a foster. I mean, thank goodness there's families that will be a foster like for the dog. But the minute a dog comes to my house, it's mine, right? You know, like, and imagine giving up that dog after. So same thing with like young kids. I knew one of my friends who's a foster mom. She had to give up a child after living with them for 2 years, and because the mom was able to get. So like that's all. So it's great that people do that. But at the same time, I could never be able to do that. Like, imagine, like that's tough. But like this family, this foster family, I don't think they really have any attachment.
They needed the money, man.
They needed the money. Like, I mean, and yeah, and like I'm surprised they really are so strict with her because, like, you know, like it seems like they really don't. Well, especially the father could care less what she does as long as the pig, oh, not the pig, the dog stays outside. That's it. That was the biggest rule. That she had to sneak the dog in.
Giant dog, and yeah, she would sneak the dog in, and then the guy would be pissed that it's in it. It just made no sense. It's like he just didn't want the dog there sleeping at night.
But which, like, okay, I can understand maybe if you have like a beautiful home and you know what, this is a pigsty. It's like this house is a pigsty, and the dog is probably cleaner than anything else in the house. So like I mean, the guy typical. He had a mullet. I think the mom walked around in a nightgown. Like it was just like such a like low class kind of like family taking this girl in. Like no wonder she's having trouble. And not for nothing, like you said, this is a girl that watched her mom be taken away. You think like they would try to bring her to the best family they possibly can. No, let's bring her somewhere that's just going to add more drama to what's already going on to this poor girl and add more, you know. More of an awful childhood.
I wrote after like the transition from like when she's little, I wrote the music is so 90s here.
Oh my God.
And then I wrote Rachel's now high school and her foster parents are assholes.
And you know what? The music, there are some times where the music was weird. It was like soap opera kind of music. It was like very like, I don't know. It was like, yeah, I wrote in the middle of my notes.
Oh, for like the romantic scenes, like for when Jesse and Rachel are hanging out?
Well, first of all, one of the romantic scenes was a little uncomfortable considering it was high school, right? You're talking about a freshman girl. I think she's a freshman, right? She's a freshman in high school because he's a senior, like, because their friend was underage. Well, that's why they were saying the statutory rape.
The friend was 16. Oh,
right.
Yeah, I don't know how old.
So she's either freshman or sophomore.
I don't remember.
Well, they're best friends, so maybe a sophomore. But regardless, like they made like that scene near the end was like two adults. Like they made it like very like you know like adult like love making.
Oh no, she's 18. Rachel is 18. Okay, good.
Well, yeah, but not in the movie in the show. In the movie.
In the movie. Yeah.
How do you know she's 18?
Carrie wiki page. It said she's 18 years old.
So her best friend is 16? I don't think so. I think that's wrong.
I had good buddies that were 18. I was 16.
In the movie world, it's always the same grade.
It's always the same.
It is. It's the same grade. There's no way.
You write it. Hey, you just wrote juniors and seniors are hanging out. Get out of here. Get the script out of
here. And okay, Finch is her like best friend. He looks like he's older. Right. So she's 16. There's no way.
Finch looks young in this compared to American Pie. He filmed this like they both came out in 99. This movie took a little bit longer after filming. So Finch filmed that in like early 98. This movie.
No, but that's what
American
I mean.
Pie was,
he looks young too. So like he's probably the same age as Mina Survey, whatever her name is. What's her? No, is it Mia?
Mina Survey, right? Isn't that great? She's in this. The two American Pie people.
It's very funny. So and show you how like unknown she was. I mean, she didn't have a big role. I mean, so it was pretty quick. I mean, considering she's a name that we all know today, but the girl that starred in a movie never was in a movie before.
Yeah.
And that's so, but yeah. So anyway,
But how crazy is that scene? Like, they meet each other at school. She's like, "Oh my god, I met a guy. It's such a great weekend. What happened? Oh, I lost my virginity. Oh," and she's just so happy. And she's like, "I'll tell you, right?" She's like, "I'll tell you after school." And then we see her start. This is when we hear the betting game, right? This is like when they're kind of betting because she's making eyes at Brad. Right?
What happened? Well, I think before they started talking about the betting game, but Home Improvement, it almost sounded like he liked her. And then when
he
they
did kind of like her,
he did.
It was like a really twisted grease.
It really was, because they kind of like made fun of her, and he was like, "Oh, I can't like her now because I look like a tool." So yeah, that's when he twisted, went backwards. But yeah, so like it was a kind of a weird thing. I didn't at first, like I must have missed something, or I know that when she goes to the locker and she sees she had a note or something, but were you able to read the note? Because when she was walking on the roof, I didn't know.
Yeah. The note they have later is evidence too. It was like,
well, later, but I'm talking about in the beginning.
Yeah. Was that when they met? Right? Was that the note to me, or is that the note that she read that made her jump off the?
That's the note she read, but I don't think they showed what the note said at that point.
I don't know if they showed it then, but I think it was something like,
"Oh, breaking up." It's probably breaking up with you. It was what the note.
Yeah, I was trying to think what it said.
But they didn't explain that when because one scene they're showing their tattoos, matching tattoos, and and not for nothing, in the 90s, matching tattoos in high school, that's not too common, I would think.
They're
like
badass.
Yeah, they are badass. But so like they show you like she's all happy and everything else, and then the next scene she goes to the locker, she sees a note which we don't really see. She slams the door, and then she's just walking slowly on the roof. Like there was no explanation for that, so it was a little. I was uncertain, like what the heck's going on. Like they didn't really explain that.
Yeah, it was almost maybe like you thought, like, oh, did she find out somehow about the game, or what did Brad say to her in that note? Something along those lines. But when she fell and like, that was insane.
No, that was a good
wild. The way the head hit the car.
Yeah. No, it was again. Like I said, a lot of the kills are pretty good in this movie. Okay, so here's another thing that I think bothers me with the movie also is they have like it's such a to me it's a ripoff of like many movies, right? Like you said, not 10 Things I Hate About You. It's
She's All That.
Actually, 10 Things I Hate About You is also probably part of that. The way she was kind of pushing the other guy away for a while, and She's All That, but also like the typical football jocks in this movie are the same in every movie. I mean, like it was almost like Grease 2-ish when he's running around with the camera, filming the girls walking by. Like it was so like the stereotype was so over the top, right? Like I guess the game is one thing, but then the video cameras and the following and like the so out. It just I don't know. It was just so like. To me, it was over the top trying to get that stereotype out there.
They were in that like podunk town, and they could get away with murder, like literally. Like,
clearly,
the one guy's like grandpa, it seemed like, was the mayor of the town. Like they were doing things that, unless you had that behind you to be able to get out of everything, like when they're torturing her at her house later,
my gosh,
just messing with her.
And not even hiding their face. And not even hiding their face. Like they had no fear.
I know.
They had no fear.
Yeah, they started using like your weird voice, right? When he called, and then he started talking normal. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, the weird voice was Donald Duck. I mean, they were doing Donald Duck on a film. I want to see a movie where, because every movie, it's always the football players, right? The football players, they give a bad rep to any good football players. It's always like they're the creeps and everything else. I want to see like the chess club. I want to see like a group that's never like the jerks and let them do
that. Would be
like
good.
Yeah, and the football players are the nice guys. I mean, they're always giving like the football players a bad rep.
They're the really good. That would be good. That would be a really good movie. They're like the bullies, the nerds. It'd have to be in a world like where football is chess, like in popularity, and chess is
is the popular, gets all the girls. Yeah. Like the opposite of real life.
The three chess players just turned us off. But no, I do like. There is one movie, one of my favorite horror movies I saw as a kid. It's called Slaughter High. Not the same thing you're talking about, but it is all the popular people bullying the nerd, and then the nerd kills all of them in a really crappy B movie horror way.
Isn't that what Toxic Avenger is in a way?
I guess so, right? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, in the original one,
threw him into the ooze, and then he changed.
He was wasn't he a janitor in the first one, but like a dorky janitor?
No, he's a scrawny little kid.
Yeah, he was scrawny,
right?
but I thought he was a janitor. I thought he was
Was he a janitor? I just remember him being so scrawny.
Oh, he was very scrawny,
really weird looking. Yeah,
he was very scrawny. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, any kind of revenge like that is great. But I'm saying the bad guys are never the nerds or the geeks.
That'd be perfect. No, I think that movie we got to write it, dude. Have the jocks.
A little switch on that.
In a world where chess is king.
Well, you know what? You can almost say Revenge of the Nerds was close. I mean,
sort of, because they were really cool at the end, but
they had hidden cameras. They did a lot of bad stuff. I mean, so that was probably the closest.
So we already mentioned Shiprink Finch. He's Arnold in this movie. He's Eddie K. Thomas. He's great. He plays such that outcast, him later in the movie, which we'll get into. But yeah, you mentioned, this girl dies, right? So she falls off. Mina Cervini falls to her death in the windshield of a car. Rachel makes all the lockers explode, and I love when the guy with the camcorder comes up, and he's just like, "Hey, whose car is this, man?" Not like, "Hey, this girl just died."
Again, the typical stereotype of these guys don't care about anybody but themselves. So you just named a couple of things. So one, the lockers exploding. No one even thought what is going on? They all were running away from the lockers.
No investigation,
and it was never mentioned
at it.
And never mentioning it again. That's a free and it literally was one locker after another. Someone planted bomb, some kind of bomb across the way. And they were not concerned at all, just running for the life, and that's it.
This is pre 9/11, so maybe they weren't thinking of it. They're come on.
Typical prank by the football players. That's probably what they're thinking, right?
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
I mean,
Rachel could have just, instead of doing what she does, she could have just made their lives a living hell with doing stuff like that. It'd be a little, but she'd be butchery.
She wasn't doing that. She was doing it, but not realizing she was doing that. Right, because later on in the movie, because I think she says, "What is it that I have? What's wrong with me?" So she didn't know she was doing that. It was just it's almost like every time she gets angry, like Firestarter, things start happening around her, and so. But then, so the other thing is, you have this girl that just jumped to her death, splattered all over the car. The teachers don't ask to get the students out of there. They let all the students surround the car. They're all standing there, like they watched the fight just now. And they're just watching this is literally a murder scene almost. I mean, it's probably, in reality, it probably would have been such a probably grosser in reality. All over the floor and everything else. And these kids are just standing there, and no teachers are saying, "Everybody back to class, get inside," blocking nothing. It's okay. And then again, you would allow students to get that close to the crime scene. First the girls there.
It is a crime scene, yeah.
It is a crime scene.
There's cross contamination.
Oh
my
gosh.
There could have been DNA added to it. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we find out right away, because now they started the guys are erased in the notebook, which is now at the end of the movie kind of a twist, because the guy's fake erasing, because everything we thought he was erasing is revealed later in the movie. But so we see her name in there. And then Brad, dude, this thing just happened. And he's talking very loud. And he goes, "Yeah, I told her she was just a pump or a nut." I'm like,
wait, Brad, that's the home improvement guy?
Brad Home. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
His name okay. I don't know his name in this.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the whole movie, those guys talk out loud. Literally, they are the worst criminals. They are criminals, for doing a lot of the things they're doing. And they do everything out in the open. They talk out in the open. There's no fear with these guys. They run everything. They control everything. So, yeah.
And the guy, Mark, who's the bad guy, I got to look up his IMDb, because he was pretty good. He reminded me of a little bit of Ethan Hawke. He was nuts, man.
No,
He got crazy.
he looked like, I thought he looked like what's his name? Johnny Drama. I thought he looked a little like, before
he kind of looked like Drama.
he did. Like at first I thought it was a young Drama. Like like when they first saw him like sitting around, like his face is like his looked like, and then obviously the more he talked, like I was like, all right, it's not him, but yeah, especially when he shaved his head at the end, like all those guys like that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
that is crazy. But I mean, yeah, he was absolutely nuts. I think the whole movie. I mean, and he looks like someone that like I feel like I've seen him. Like he looks like someone that should have been in more movies if he wasn't like more known.
Yeah,
movies.
no, definitely. So Brad, this is one thing I wrote down too, because Brad is already panicking about everything because it's like, oh my gosh, people are gonna know I'm 18, she's 16, and then he's like, come on, man, I got a scout from. I love that why wouldn't they use fake colleges? I never understood why you're writing a movie. You can just say like, we got some scouts from Alabama coming. It's not like you have to pay Alabama. You can just not show their logo or anything. It could be any college in Alabama. But it was dumb. He was like, because even like his dad or his uncle, whoever the hell it was later, was like, all the universities are coming. And it's like, all the universities? He just said King's University, which we'll get to the game later because he's a nut in this movie.
Oh,
none of the guys had matching rings.
I know,
and they weren't like state championship rings or anything.
Yeah,
just their bond was so weird, and it was just like Jesse. He plays that perfect, right? Randall Pink Floyd, like he's the same thing in Days Confused. He's on the outs with his friends, and they don't know that he's on the outs. It's the same situation.
You know what? I think that was the biggest twist because most of the movie I'm thinking like, oh, he's totally playing her. He's totally like, I thought.
Yeah.
I really did. I didn't think. Again, first of all, I mean, their relationship is very weird. Because they act like they've been dating forever. I mean, it's really a very short time.
Well, you got the dog, which is crazy.
Which again, that was a big question at the end of the movie. Like, how does he get that? Like, how does that happen? Like, that's ridiculous.
They were together like a week or two tops.
Never met her foster parents. So how would the dog be inherited to him? Which, well,
that guy doesn't care. Remember when the dog runs down the road and we see like a puppet dog get ran over by a car?
Okay. That was probably one of the most awful scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like
and what is the one from Stephen King, Pet Sematary?
Oh,
when the kid actor gets ran over by the tractor trailer. It's up there. These two scenes.
But this one, like, a lot of times, you would hear screeching and like off scene, like you wouldn't see the dog rolling. Like this dog gets hit and rolls. Like I was not expecting that, and it was off. Like we saw a lot of death in this movie, right? And we saw a lot of crazy deaths. Yeah. That one upset me. Like that one. And anytime you have an animal, you could kill a family of 5. I'm okay with that. You kill a dog or an animal, I'm gonna have a hard time. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I don't cry in movies, but I come close when an animal dies.
You almost cried there.
I was shocked. I don't think I've ever seen a brutal pet. A brutal pet. First of all, there's no way that dog's alive. All right, so I mean, let's say, I mean, the way they show it rolling under the car,
it was already out of shape. It was so out of shape anyway. So just by it rolling, its fat would probably go around and damage.
Not to mention,
or it protected it.
Okay, not to mention, how old was the girl in the beginning of the movie?
Probably 5 or 6. So that dog's probably 11 or 12.
Okay, right. And if you're saying she's 18. Now you're talking about she's 13. It was 13. So the dog's 13, at least 13. That means it wasn't a puppy though when she first got it. So like the dog was pretty old to begin with. Like it wasn't a puppy dog. It was looked exactly the same. So that dog now. So think about that.
The dog probably is blind. It was running down a road towards traffic.
Blind and deaf. Yeah, but if he's 13, he moved pretty well. I mean, 13 is pretty long for a dog's life. So and the bones are gonna be brittle. That dog's not making it. If the dog's 13, he's at least 13, probably 15. The dog's by far dead. But yeah, that was an awful, awful scene. Yeah.
What was the dog's name? I
don't know. But the fact that,
but if it was Sparky, you can go, hey Sparky, what was it like to get hit by a truck? Rough. Damn it. I was laughing too quick. I was hoping to time it with your drink, and then we'd get a spit take.
Yeah, but it wasn't that funny. What? Why the Sparky with Ruff?
No, his name's Sparky. It's me talking to the dog. What was it
No,
like getting hit by a car?
no. I get the joke, but you said I was hoping his name was Sparky because you said like so if his name wasn't Sparky.
No, I didn't say no. No, I was just trying to make up a name.
Oh yeah, right. So okay, I was gonna say like, what does Sparky have to do with Ruff? I was like,
no, Sparky doesn't have to do it.
All right, if we have to dissect a joke like this, you got to save it. You might want to cut that one out.
Tony, cut that out. So now we have Rachel because the footage. It's something we glossed over. Her friend had some photos from the weekend. I'll show you later. Can you develop them for me? I'll pick them up later.
Correct.
Oh, okay, fine. So they are thinking about the photos that she had, and they're trying to think of like, oh, where did that camera go?
So the bribe that they try to get those photos from her, $30. Like that was these are rich kids, right? They're clearly rich kids.
Important, right? Just think of the lengths they go to. Now it's 30. Later it's murder.
Correct. So you're gonna tell me like that's your best offer is 30? Like like if they came in would say just say listen $500, she probably would have done it in 2 seconds. $30, like there was no like incentive for her to even do anything. So yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get into King's University, this is a big game for you. I think you can fork out more than $500.
Well, the fact that he first started with 20 and he goes, "Fine, I'll do 30." Like it wasn't a big, and then then what's even better than $30 is a date with him because he
yeah.
How do you turn that down?
No sense. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it just made no sense for these guys that are gonna commit crimes later in the movie.
Yeah,
they couldn't have just like reached in and grabbed it. Again, they're gonna. It seems like they're not getting in trouble anyway. They have connections in the town. Just freaking do it, and then just take the one photo out, throw it out, and be like, "Oh, here, you can have it back."
Correct. And it's not like she was at a store. She was at one of those booths. So they easily could have like no one's gonna stop them from going in there and grabbing it and just So they could 100% they could have done that. So
that could have been another good twist in this movie. These guys could have been because they're dumb football jocks. They could have take the photos, run with them. She's like chasing. They take out the 5 photos of Brad, take him. Okay, fine, have it back. And then they're so dumb they forget about the negative film that they give you, and that could have been like a clue later in the movie.
Okay, that's way too smart for a movie like this. That's way too detailed, But I do like her way of kiboshing the date that she says that I'm a dyke.
Oh,
and that's so. I mean, we clearly when she said that, then I was questioning. This before her relationship later. I'm like, well, maybe she is. I mean, she really cares about Mina Severa. Like maybe they were dating. I thought like that was a true statement, but I think the fact that it's not a true statement and that's the way they turned him away, I think that was a great comeback.
Yeah. And then she talks to Rachel. This is when she wants to talk to the cop. Is that at the school, right?
Yep.
When she talks about like, Eric Clark. She has the photo. She gives it to the cop.
She doesn't want to talk to them. They keep coming to her, the cops.
That's true. Yeah. Oh yeah. She gets called down to the office. Right?
She gets called down to the office
in there. Okay.
Yeah.
She goes, "That's Eric Clark. He's on the football team." It's like, oh, okay. And then Sue is the counselor. She's the one that was bullying Carrie 20 years ago. I go, probably she's trying to right her wrong by giving back to children.
Well, she said something about that, right? Like if I wish there was someone maybe Carrie could have talked to, that maybe would have saved her. She mentioned something like that. That's why she's taking interest.
Yeah.
But maybe if you weren't a bully to her, that could have saved her also. Like, like it's almost like she's like she's blaming the fact there were no teachers there to help Carrie. But how about the fact that you're the bully, then you're the reason why she did what she did.
Yeah.
So, and okay, and you have to assume the news of what happened to Carrie and like why she did everything had to be out there. How can a school
in this town, of course,
in this town? So how can a school hire someone that actually was part of that? Right, that
survived. That's pretty true. Like if that was a different town, but why would you hire somebody that was involved in the bullying? Unless because there was no survivor, she could rewrite the story and be like, "Oh, I was her friend."
Yeah. I don't think so. That's I mean, But yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah.
That girl that Jesse's with, remember he's having like the weird sex with her, the Tracy, the girl that's into her.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
like this weird part. They just have like this quickie, and then right, and then the buddy marks the notebook
Yep. Yep.
afterwards. Yeah, and she's like attractive, which her thing at the end is
Oh
that whole ending scene is nuts. Like what goes into that all over Eric's football game that he hurts himself pretty quick. We'll get more
yeah.
into it, but
No.
that was
Yeah.
the silliest part. He should have the greatest game ever or something like for it to be all worth it, but it's not at
No,
all.
not at all. Well, first of all, sure, you're gonna allow someone to come right to the field the way she was, and like when she snuck on there, she's standing next to the team, like just right
Oh,
big game
yeah.
like that. Like I mean, like no one's stopping her. She just like like come. I just yeah. There's so much to that. So, yeah, the there's so much going on in this movie with so many different like levels, and the one thing I do like about the main character is she doesn't jump at the chance to try to be popular, right? Or hang out like
Oh, not at all.
and so like she is standoffish. She does eventually break, they do get her, but she does hold her ground, and so like I like that aspect of it. Like she's not looking for popularity. I think
Yeah.
popularity, like, and again, it's really, if it wasn't for the one guy she starts dating, I don't think she would care to be part of that at all. So
Yeah, and he was like, oh, it was all because of the dog. They only
yes,
connected because
which
of that scene.
okay, so you're a pet owner, you have dogs, I've had dogs, I have dogs. Now your dog basically is clinging to life. It should be dead. You're watching this. That you go to the vet, they do surgery and they say it's okay, and you immediately go to the diner and eat. Like I wouldn't be able. I don't think I'd be able to eat anything. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I think I'd want to go home and just like thank goodness like my dog's okay. Like I mean like I don't think I'd be, what I just saw is probably very traumatic. Like to watch your animal get run over. That's got to be traumatic. Like if you're a pet owner and the first thing you want to do is just go on a date and eat. Like I don't know. I thought that was a little insensitive.
How about the clinic they go to, the 24-hour clinic that definitely looked like it was like a strip mall? And I love that. Wouldn't they be like, hey, do you have any, like, obviously there is pet insurance, but not people really use it. But like, wouldn't it just be like, all right, you're going to pay something now? All they say is he's going to hang on, pick him up. You can pick him up anytime after 9 tomorrow morning. It's like, okay, that's a lot of money. Like, do you think she can afford it? Are they gonna keep her dog?
Listen,
like
my cat just had surgery, and it was a lot of money, and it wasn't a near. Well, I mean, he could have died if we didn't get it done. But I mean, this is like, again, based on that dog probably broke every bone. Should have broke every bone in his body. Like he should be.
Yeah.
The dog should be in a full cast. I mean, and so it's made. It's made. Well, it was, what movie was that? Something About Mary. Wasn't a dog in a full cast?
I think so. Yeah.
He jumps out the window, right? It was in a full cast, and just a tongue came out of the cast. But I mean, and the fact that like they wouldn't let her see the dog, like I would assume like you're able to just, even if you can't go in the room, because you could, I'm sure there's a way to like just like let me just see my dog. Thank goodness.
Let me peek in a window.
Yeah, peek at something, right? No, you can't see it. Go to the diner and get some food. Like okay.
Yeah. Oh my god! And I do love that the distinction for the movie goer, even though you're watching the movie, you understand what's happening. But when she changes, it's like whatever is in her takes over when she goes to black and white. Like even when she's having like some like sort of like dreams, visions, or when she's using the powers.
So why is she having flashbacks of Carrie 1 when she wasn't there, and how does she know what's going on?
She had a flashback of Carrie 1? No, that wasn't a flashback. That was Sue. That was the counselor telling her the story. It was just a visual for the audience.
But it was throughout the movie. We didn't just see one scene of a flashback. We saw multiple scenes of flashbacks. It wasn't just one scene.
Of the original one? Really?
Yes.
I don't remember any.
Yes.
I only remember the one when they're at the school visiting the rubble.
No, there was a few scenes in the big like it was like she was almost having those herself. I'm almost positive there were more than one.
Really?
I
know wrong. She had the visions, like early visions were re-seeing what's her name die. She kept seeing him her fall.
That's different. I could be wrong, and maybe
I know, but I
Egan.
don't remember. Like, that'd be really weird if she would have a vision without the Sue is explaining to her, because she had nothing. Rachel's not from that town, I guess.
No, but I mean,
Because
maybe it's
she
part of
had
her
no
powers.
clue about anything that happened.
Yeah, but that could be part of her powers that she doesn't realize that connection. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn there was more than one. You know what? What's the fan that recommended this?
Oh, Nicole.
Okay.
Yeah, Nicole can let us know, but
Nicole,
I'm
let
pretty
us know.
sure. I'm pretty sure, because that would be that would be ridiculous if they have her have visions.
Okay, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If they had that, the movie is so ridiculous. But everything else that happens in this movie,
not what happened to the movie. I'm just saying the fact that she would have visions of
why there's a connection
that she wasn't there for,
because they're showing connections. There's a connection to her and Carrie. It's like the Corsican brothers.
It's not a direct connection. It's a above connection.
It's a stupid connection to begin with. So I'm not surprised. Well, it is, but it's like the Corsican brothers with Cheech and Chong. When one gets hit, the other one feels it. So maybe this is something like a similar thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. Nicole, her name is Nicole.
Nicole, yeah. Let us know if the visions were throughout or if it was just when they're visiting the rubble. And
please,
Sue's
Nicole, thank you.
So when after Jesse sleeps with that girl, he like aggressively drops her off, no reason at all, and it's almost like he had to get to that. It's almost like it would have been ridiculous if Jesse was involved in this, like in on the whole thing. But dude, the fact that the dog was going there and he was driving down that road at that same time, like that didn't happen. Does he still pursue her? That's what made it weird. Obviously, her name was in the book, and she was worth what, 30 points? I think she was 30.
You know what's funny that we keep talking about that. I don't know if you listened to Opie and Anthony back in the day, but
a little bit.
Okay, so they actually had something in a similar way, and I wonder if it was a combination of this and what the kids that really did this. But Opie and Anthony had it where they gave points for couples to do sexual activities throughout the city. And like if you did some like a certain kind of activity at, say, like St. Patrick's Cathedral, you get 30 points. And if you do this activity there, you get 50 points. And if you do it in a cab, and like they had like someone from the show following everybody around and doing it, they literally did this on the air.
What?
Like, yeah,
Wait, somebody was following them to confirm they're doing it?
So there were like five couples.
What a job.
Oh,
Frank, how was work today? Oh my god, I had to watch people have sex in a cab.
It was literally, I think it was like 5 couples throughout the city, and the whole show was like they would call in. Oh yeah, they're doing this now, and they're doing it.
That is pretty funny actually.
So I wonder if that was a similar kind of thing with this. Plus, again, what happened with the other ones, how the points are, and I mean, pretty crappy, and but it really, the more they keep talking about it, the more I kept thinking that he's totally playing them. Even when we saw the locker room scene and he was like standing up for her, I still felt like he was like, you know what, the joke's would be on them. I'm gonna win this.
We're doing this in public, yeah.
Not even them knowing about it. The fact that I thought
he just wanted. Oh, I got you.
So like they put the guard down and he's ranking these points, and then at the end he can say, "Hey, yeah." I thought he was doing for a long time. So yeah, so I got fooled.
And so the dog's name's Walter. I wrote Walter's saved. But how about the biggest question mark so far to me is the fact that she didn't change her shirt and she went into a public place, like a diner with dog blood.
I wrote that down too. I wrote that down too. Like, it's very well. You know what? She's used to that because in the beginning of the movie she had paint all over her face, and she was walking around with that too. So if she makes a mess, she just goes along with it. Because that's something she did earlier in the movie. So yeah, I mean, again, you have your dog's blood all over you. Fine, you're hungry. Wouldn't you like order like something to, like, again, you're not really. Do you want to be around people right now? Do you want to be like? To me, it's like you see an accident. Like, I'd rather be at home. Like, let me just go home. But no changing. Blood stuck. Probably has guts all over her, and she's at the diner.
Yeah. And then she's like, I'll walk home or I'll hitch. It's okay. Like, that's what she actually says to him. But how about like you hear her talking to him? And again, she knows that this douche Eric Brad from Home Improvement, like, is the reason her friend killed herself. And this guy in proximity, she doesn't know Jesse that well. So from her perspective, they're close. You think you're going to open up and tell all these things about Lisa and Eric, and I think like you're giving him everything and why wouldn't he run back and tell him?
And you know that he's friends with all of them, right? Like so, like yeah. I mean, but you know what? That's all these girls that are in that book. They all fell for each one of those guys, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, she obviously was smitten. Without really showing it to him, you knew like this is the first guy that's talked to her, probably. Because she's such a loner that she
Mhm.
probably just not realizing and getting sucked in, and that's exactly what happened.
So one thing that's in this movie, and I want to bring it up now because I just thought about it. So you have, because of the book, you have obviously the people in the book, the girls lost their virginities, the guys lost their virginities. Why is it a big deal? Like the girl that was on Clueless, the TV show, and an Iron Eagle 4, the hacker girl from Iron Eagle 4 is in this movie. She's the girl with the glasses who's like a sicko. She's an asshole. She's
Oh.
crazy in this movie. But the fact that the video is on later in the movie and she's like, "Oh, you slut," and I'm like, she had this for losing her virginity. That's not the definition of what that is.
And
it's
she's
just so
and she's with a boyfriend.
crazy.
And she's with a boyfriend.
Well, she pretty much at this point they're sort of together. They
Oh,
both
they
care
totally
about
are.
each other a lot. Yeah,
Correct.
so that's what I mean. Like it's crazy she would say that.
Yeah.
And she was like if she cheated on Jesse, let's say her and Jesse were hooking up,
correct.
and
Correct.
then they drugged her or something, and then
Correct.
that whole thing happened. Then again, obviously it's terrible with the drugging, but it's like, okay, then visually, oh, you're a slut, you cheated on Jesse. But there's no reason. Everybody's yelling and slut to her.
But are you? I mean, again, clearly, look at her friends. I mean, look at her one friend who's been trying to get with him the entire movie, and what she does, and how she corners him, and everything else. Like, so clearly, she's around that. And how did she get into that guy's group? She was one of the numbers. That she.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So
she has to be.
of course. So yeah, and she definitely like it's funny in the beginning of the movie. You really thought the other girl was the more evil one, right? The one that like, how is he spending so much time with her? The one that really liked her, but it's really the one with the glasses.
Well, she was pretty evil too. But
She-
they were both very
well,
evil. But the
hold
one
on.
girl with the spray paint can, she's pretty crazy.
No, they both are. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I think like because in the beginning of the movie, the girl with the glasses came across like the quieter one, right? Like she was the nerdy one and so like, it was all about the girl. But this other side of her that came out later on in the movie was just ridiculous. Like like so over the top. Like yeah. And
She was always, I always had a crush on her.
well,
She's in a bunch of random stuff like Sugar and Spice, like these random. Oh, Sugar and Spice. Her and what's her name? Lisa, who died in the beginning. They're both in that movie together. Lots of connections from this.
yeah, there is a lot of connections. But so you can understand the other girl why she would be so angry, but why was this one so angry?
I don't know. No reason.
Right? Like, and not that the other girl deserved to be angry, but clearly she liked the guy, so she's angry that she's with him. But this other girl had nothing to do with that. She didn't care about the other guy, but at the end of the movie, she's like antagonizing the girl, and she's like almost being a bigger bully than almost anybody there. Like,
Yeah.
why was she so angry about that? Like, or just really trying to get to her?
What was her deal? She was trying to befriend her. Obviously, she was like, she's in with the guy, so
Yeah.
she's setting her up, stealing the lipstick for her. I don't know what her problem was. She was nuts, man. Like really, like she has this look in that scene when she's yelling at her, and then when all shit breaks loose, we'll get into.
Think about her only
has this
friends.
nutty look in her face.
Well, the whole only friends are the 5 football players and the one girl. So, I mean, I don't think there's not one sane person in that whole group.
Well, how about the one girl they cast that looks like the girl that was into Jesse? The girl, like when they pick her up to go to the party for the end scene, I thought it was that girl.
Yeah, so did I.
She kind of looked like her from the side. And then when we saw that girl pick him up, I'm like, how did she come back? But how about this? Was Jesse dating the black hair girl?
No.
Because they were like hooking up. They just had sex. And then he's with somebody else, but she thinks they're dating. Because that's why she's so pissed at Rachel. I
Yeah,
feel like we're in high school right now that we're talking about this. I feel like we're gossiping.
It really is like a high school like relationship kind of thing. What you just said.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I
fun.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know his. Yeah, you know what? Maybe they were. Maybe they were dating, and then just that's why she's so bitter.
He had sex with her, and then he
Yeah.
is that night after having sex, he's into a girl that had dog blood on her.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is great. This is working.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm trying to think of. Well, you know what? But he was making eyes at her in the beginning of the movie. Like, you know,
yeah.
So like there was definitely, I think, I don't know if it was like, you know, he liked her or there was intrigue, because, you know, a lot of times when you
I
have
think that was the setup of him writing the name of the book. That was like the setup for us as the audience to think, oh, he's just one of those other assholes. He's just making looks at her, just like Freddie Prinze and like to Rachel.
Or do you think so? Are you saying that you think that originally he was planning on making her a number in a book, and then he learned to like her based on the experience they had together with the dog, and like he saw a different side of her?
I think so. I think 100%.
So
you
think
he didn't know who she was? It was just part of the game, and he was obviously a prick because he banged the other girl.
Yeah,
and then was just doing it for the game. So it's not like he's.
That's
why the end of the movie could have been a lot of different twists. Like, you could have had him reveal that he was part of it, or you could have just had her wipe him out because
and that's not every movie. That's not every movie that, you know, she has to get mad at him. I can't believe you did this, but no, I really do. I fell in love with you, even though like it happens every movie. You know, what's that other one with the Sarah Michelle
Gellar?
Yeah,
Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, isn't that the same kind of thing? Isn't that another one?
Sort of, yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, that is, and hey, you got to try, right? If you have somebody with like a gun or fire around them, and they're like, "Oh, but I thought you loved me," you're not gonna be like, "I don't love you." You're right. You're gonna be like, "I love you so much." Oh my god.
Well, I mean, when I saw the ending of this, I'm like, if he's not running away and he's still hanging around.
Why are you going?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what? I mean, we're not there yet, but I mean, the massacre you walk into. You gonna be okay with that?
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to it pretty soon, because we've been covering a lot the way we've been just bouncing around, because it's that type of movie. But one thing is, the football coach in this movie is so true to form. Dude, his line is something, no joke. I know my football coach, who I just ran into him at the supermarket, my fresh football coach, like not that long ago, and he's still just as intense. He's like 75 now. But he met my kids, and it was so funny just thinking about the one-liner he said to my buddy. He told my buddy, hey, do me a favor, put your hand in the back of your pants and pull your head out of your ass. And like everybody went nuts. This line was great when he says, you better drop trow right now and show me your ass. And I'm like, what is happening?
Awful was that scene. I mean, like, so like weird. I mean, yes. I mean, you know, it's one thing that like every football coach would, you know, just lay into you and like say something like, you know, but to actually, and he got his face right next to the guy's bare ass. Like he went down on his knees.
Oh yeah. Oh no, both asses are still here. I'm like, what?
How weird is that? And you're a football player. You're gonna actually do that? Like, it's one thing to get reamed by your coach, but I'm sorry. You're in a locker room with a bunch of guys, and then your coach says, pull your pants down. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing that. Like, you know, you know.
Especially with what's going on right now, if you're a nutty football coach anyway, how about you tone it down for a few weeks while there's an active investigation? Because maybe somebody's just walking in for clues or looking to get questions. They walk in, your nose is like on a kid's ass, you know?
Yeah, no, it's...
How do you explain yourself? Oh, principal, I'm sorry. There was you wouldn't believe it.
Well, not to mention, you also have, again, a crime scene, right? You know, you could say she jumped. Maybe she was pushed off. There's obviously investigators there questioning your players. What if one of those players was an actual murderer, and now like you're humiliated him, and now he's gonna come back for revenge and go after and kill you? Because that's another movie, right? That would be another movie that now, like, after the next scene, the coach is dead. Like, you know, like that's another, that's 100% a horror movie, right? So, I mean, it was just, when he did that though, like and he says, pull your pants down, and he's like reluctantly doing it. And like, I'm like, This is awful.
And
Like,
then
this
I
is
forgot the
weird.
line that he said at the end. He goes, "Oh yeah, and I just want to make sure there's no tampon strings."
Something. It's just weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way. I can't imagine any football player doing that, especially these tough,
Yeah.
supposedly tough, crazy kids. Not one, because you know they're never gonna live that down with his friends, right? You know they're gonna
No,
bust
never.
his right. So
Unless
there's
they're
no.
into that. Maybe they do
Which-
elephant walks for fun. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, how do you know about elephant? walks?
So I read it on the internet. So the cop shows up and Brad's suspended, and then now like Brad and his friend, they're saying, "Oh, now we're gonna do some damage control," and then we cut to her trailer, which is already scary enough. Like there's where they filmed this movie in North Carolina and South Carolina. I don't know if they even mention what state they're in. But just where they are, it is so desolate around them. Like when he's driving down the road and hits the dog. Well, he doesn't hit the dog. The truck hits the dog.
You know what though?
There's like nothing around.
Wait, okay. If the truck didn't hit the dog, he absolutely would have hit the dog because he wasn't paying attention to the road. So he's actually lucky.
Oh, what was he looking for? He was looking for something. Oh, we failed to mention. He's looking for something. She sees the car coming, not really know who it is. She shatters the windshield to get his attention. He brakes just in time.
That's what I mean. Like he wasn't paying attention, so he would have hit a dog if it wasn't for the other truck.
That's true.
So, and then we have a different. Then we have a different story.
Then we have a different story. Yeah. So Donald Duck. So this is what we were talking about earlier when they were like terrorizing the hell out of him. But the worst part about this whole thing is after this, she's getting like. And they finally give up, right? She doesn't use any powers, right? They cut the power of the house. They're starting to bang on windows. They throw a brick through a window.
I think. Well, first of all, if you're gonna prank someone or try to scare them, would you use a Donald Duck voice? Like
no.
I
think scream would be what I use, but
something, or
maybe they
even
didn't
like
want to do that.
A deeper voice or something like creepy. Like that, to me, like that was very silly to use. But I think there's a point which you see a lot of movies also is like she started spinning around screaming. Like she was spinning like why do you spin around and scream? Like why does she she literally was spinning around and screaming. And I think when she was doing that, either lights were flickering or the cabinets maybe were opening and closing. Like I think something was going on. Because every time she gets angry or scared, that's what things go on around her. So I think she was using her powers accidentally, like she did with the lockers, but because she doesn't have control yet of what she's doing. But
I think something did trigger them to leave. They finally left. Like after the brick went through the window, they said like, "Oh, you better not talk to the cops." Oh no, yeah, that's what it was.
Oh no, they came home. The parents came home, so that's why they left. That's why they stopped.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, yeah.
Okay, but before that though, she's in a towel the entire time. She hears noises outside. Again, you see this in movies. Like, first of all, if I'm in an area like that, like you said, desolate and like there's not a lot of things around, I'm not stepping outside if I hear a noise at all. Okay. And if I had to, I'm changing first and putting sneakers on. So if I have to run, like she's in a towel, like, I mean, and she went outside and then she still, even when things are going on, wouldn't you kind of like run upstairs, lock your door, and like just stay there?
There's no upstairs. It's a 1-floor trailer.
She didn't. I thought she came down in. Oh, okay. Even so,
no, there's nowhere to hide. It's like 3 rooms.
All right. Well, let's get changed. I mean, she was in a towel, like freaking out, like
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's the thing you do if you're ever in a towel and you hear crazy. At least put your sneakers on first. You can have like big shorts that you could slip over your
100%.
sneakers, but at least if you're running naked, at least you got shoes on.
I don't want to even open the door for the mailman if I'm in a towel, and she's opening the door because there's creepy noises outside. Like it's ridiculous. But yeah, always wear. The bottom of the line is always wear sneakers, whether you're naked or a towel. Sneakers will help
showering. You never know.
Showering.
There could be somebody outside waiting for you.
You know what?
When you get out.
Absolutely. I think shower your sneakers on from now on, because that's the way.
They won't be ready for you. Because you guys think about the bad guy killer that's waiting outside the shower. He's sitting there thinking like, all right, it's going to be pretty easy. They're going to slip a lot. Because but you have these special shoes that are gripping with the water, and then you're gone.
Think about a lot of the people that Jason killed. A lot of them weren't wearing sneakers. A lot of them were barefoot.
Oh, never.
See?
They're rarely wearing sneakers.
So they're usually barefoot. So you throw sneakers on, it changes everything. I'm just saying, that's
That should be the next Friday the 13th. They do another one. You'd have to have like a couple of the kids that really like deep dive into the story, and they're like, "Do you know most of the victims didn't have sneakers on?" So they're like always ready. They're ready for like every little thing. Like they know, oh, somebody died like this one time, so I'm not gonna like lean against that or something stupid.
yeah.
But
No,
how about we just get another Friday the 13th?
okay. They're working on it.
But they're working, yeah. So the foster dad comes in, there's a brick. What the hell is this? She's on the ground, like she pops her head in when he says, "What the hell is this?" And he's kind of like pissed at her. Like it was her fault that a brick got thrown through the window.
Clearly, someone was breaking in or doing something. I mean, like, and she's home alone. Like there was no care, like concern for her whatsoever. And is this where he smacks her or punches her or whatever? Like,
No, he smacks her when she comes in.
oh, that's where she snuck
from the
in.
night of the lake house.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so like, yeah, like not even asking like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "What is this?" Like because his house was such a nice trailer to begin with. Like this is gonna really make now the value of this trailer went down because the window's broken.
Yeah, it probably matches the hole in the wall.
He probably has holes in the floor. He's got rugs covering it. I mean, and this is what his concern is.
Yeah, the rugs are. I mean, you step through. It's like walking through a minefield in your living room. Sorry, my dad's a real dick. There's no many holes. He can't put any more holes in the wall, so he's resorted to the floor.
Okay, so back to when she was a child. Bad enough that they felt like this would be the safest family to put her with. They didn't even put her in a house. They put her in a trailer to grow up in.
Yeah.
I mean, let alone that she's not gonna have a normal life because she has weird parents. She's not gonna have a normal life because she's living in this trailer with the weird parents. Like that was the safest place in the middle of nowhere. Here, this is the best option we have. Well, I guess when it's last minute, you got to get what you could take. So it was last minute. So
what if the little girl's like 5? She's like, we can wait a little bit longer. I can hang out with my mom. She can paint me every day.
Listen, this house is paid for. Let me just stay here. It's fine. That's
that house was. Now you mentioned that the house in the first scene was a pretty big house.
Yeah, it was.
Like from what I remember, like in some of the shots, like of the rooms. Yeah, that one looked pretty big. So now we have a
spider. A spider just landed on my microphone. Really?
Are you okay?
I don't know. I'll let you know. I'm not a bug person. I'm not a bug wrangler.
5.
I'm not a bug wrangler.
We've talked to him.
I know.
We can get Steven. He'll be happy to talk.
He's back. Get out of here. Gosh.
Jamie, I'm giving you play-by-play. And Jamie, the spider's landed on him.
Okay, well, I don't know where he went. I don't like this.
He's growing something. He's growing another eye.
All right. I'm back.
So the girl from the Clueless TV show, and I already knew before. I wrote this down because she was in the first half of the movie, but she didn't have any lines. So they probably cut those lines. So that was kind of weird in this movie because she was already on Clueless, the TV show, was already on USA Network at this point, and she was in Iron Eagle 4, and I think Sugar and Spice came out around this time too. But yeah, it's like, oh, she's finally talking. Oh, she's like being like sort of nice. But one line that I do love with Jesse, when the Mark was like, because they found out what they were kind of doing to her, and Mark was like, "Yo, that girl, and then he says, "We ain't friends. We just grew up together." It's like, oh shit. We're already like at this point that they're going to go against it. And then Rachel, for the first time in this, well, not the second time, this is when she talks to the counselor again, right? Because this is when the counselor's trying to piece something together.
Correct. Well, she notices something, and she just sees, again, sees a lot of similarities to Carrie. So she doesn't know yet. Like, I don't think she knows about the telekinesis.
Well, she knows now because the snow globe explodes.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, this is the moment where now everything fell into place, and now she's like, "All right, we gotta go. We gotta talk to her mom."
Yeah. But this is where I wrote something we've been talking about throughout. I wrote, if Jesse is playing us as the audience, and he really is doing it for points, that'd be pretty nuts. Like, because it would have been like a wild twist if he was like the ringleader somehow. I don't know how you do it. That'd be like way too much to do. It's not like this is a serial type.
It would be like what I said before, that he's pretending. So, by doing that, he's getting the scent off him with the other guys. They think he's not even playing, and now he's scoring big. Like he's, literally, I'm thinking like, all right, that's gonna be part of the revenge at the end of the movie where she goes crazy when she finds out that he's not part of it. I mean, that he's not into her. He's playing the game.
Oh yeah.
So I
No, I
thought
know.
that's what I thought. Most of the movie, I thought that was going to be the big reveal. Which
isn't that the original? The guy is with her, and she wins homecoming queen. They vote her to win.
Well, they
and I feel like the guy that was into her was the homecoming king. So it is that different twist of the original. Is that one the jock was involved with the pig's blood.
So you're saying this is like the Rocky 2 where you think he's going to go down, but they fake you out because they think they're both falling down this time. Because in the first one, they both fell down. They got knocked out, both of them.
Yeah.
Second one, it looked like Stallone's going down, but he didn't go down.
He didn't go down.
So this is the Rocky 2.
That's kind of Jesse. That's the Rocky Carrie scenario. Little.
Okay.
So I don't know. This isn't when they get the lake house yet, because that's when Mark is like, "Sorry, man, I'll give you the." That's when they're like having that moment. But this is when I don't know. They're like sitting in his car somewhere or something. But this is when he talks about football. The only reason I did football is so I can leave this town. She's like, "You got to do it. You got to use football and leave this town." And he says again after 3 days. Want to come with me?
Their relationship seems very odd. The whole movie. I mean, like it's like first of all, they're acting like they're adults. They're literally high school kids. And like it just the way the whole relationship ends and where they are, like it just like it's so fast, so quick, so strong. In what is it? A week? You think? Like what's the time frame from?
Well, right now I think it's only been 3 days since the dog.
That's what I'm saying.
If that.
Right, if that. So their relationship is that strong. There's so much in love in 3 days. Like,
yeah, I know.
So weird. Like, so.
It'd be wild at the end of the movie if this was like, I don't know if Boy Meets World was probably just a little past your time. Like to watch on TV. But like there was an episode with like Ryder Strong when all of his ex-girlfriends have him go to a cabin and it's all the exes there. Wouldn't it be great if all the girls were at the party and they're like, "Oh yeah, me and Jesse were talking when when he makes it in football, I'm gonna go with him." And then some other girls like, "What did you say?" No, Jesse said I was gonna go with it.
Wasn't that I think that was a movie. I think there was something like that.
That's his one liner to get all the girls. Like it's the panty dropping line. He's like, "Works every time." You want to leave this one stoplight down?
But again, you want to come with me? I still think she's a freshman in high school.
She's 18.
Okay.
No, it's
I don't care what
wrong.
Oh yeah, okay. Wiki's never wrong.
Not the horror wiki. They're pretty
good. Again, in movie universe,
we know horror fans. Horror fans are strong. They're intelligent.
I think they're the same grade. I think it's off because in movie world, the grades are like the best friends are always the same grade.
They can't intermingle.
No. I'm going to disagree. I think she's underage too. So that's my guess.
So now, remember that they started to make out. He was gonna like go for it.
But he respected her boundaries.
He did. And
again,
remembered she said, "I wanted to be special. I want flowers."
And again, that made me even more say, "All right, he's totally playing her. Oh yeah, sure. I respect you." Like, so he gets her trust. And I still thought he was like, like kind of like training her to like really like him. So yeah, he did a good job. With
really playing some mental mind games. Like if there's a lot of sick people out there, but just if he did do that as the twist, come on, you're gonna leave town with me.
But that's every movie though, right? Like, I mean, that's the twist in so many of those movies. So and then the girl doesn't talk to him, and then Grease. I mean, it's a very similar thing. All those things. And then they find out they're back together. Like, so they did.
Yeah.
The fact that they stayed true to the relationship, is definitely something odd you see in movies. Like that was something that I wasn't expecting. So
yeah, I think what they could have done. Sometimes when they almost give you the will they won't they, like you have like maybe they zoom in on the face a little too much. He makes a look like when she looks away. Or something like that. What was interesting in this movie, there wasn't a time that I thought, honestly, that he was going to be bad like the other guys.
Oh.
I wrote that down because I'm like, wouldn't that be nuts? Because they didn't give us one of those like off looks or.
But that's
maybe
why I
some
thought
line he said to his friend.
that's
I know
exactly
that's
so that,
why it would have been great.
Yes, and that's why I kept waiting to see, because to me also the revenge factor at the end of the movie. I mean, think about the revenge on him. Like, you know, she wanted revenge on everybody that made, you know, and like he was part of the setup with the video. Like he knew they were filming. Like, you know, like, I mean, listen, you have a creepy friend who you know is a scumbag, offers you to stay at his house. Now, I didn't see this movie. I knew right away there was hidden cameras there. Like that was
I know.
I mean, like I was saying, I'm thinking like, oh, they're definitely being videotaped or something. Like, you know, like I knew that. So like, you're going to tell me like, so part of me was like, he knew it. They knew a videotaping. It was just so many like things, so many ways that could have went. And no, I think that makes the twist almost better, that you keep thinking he's the bad guy. You know, you keep thinking that, you know, the murderer's the butler's the murderer, but you find out that he's not.
You know, again, would Jesse have known that his sicko friends, he should have been on to him maybe a little bit or something? Because I'm sure they've done this before.
That's what I mean.
Set up cameras for their other conquests.
You're going to tell me that's the only place that he could take her? Like to for his plan to deflower her. That's the place you want to go, to your creepy friend's house? I don't think so. Like, that's like, you know, that's dumb on Jesse's part.
Yeah, that's not too romantic, even for Rachel. Oh yeah, you know that douchebag that was part of the group that tortured my friend for her to kill herself? Yeah, we're gonna bang in his mom's lake house.
That's so weird. It's
very weird. So the counselor, this is the scene we talked about at Arca Mental Hospital. She goes there to meet Rachel's mom, and this is where she asked Rachel's mom, like point blank, oh, who's the father? Finds out it's the same father as Carrie.
So this father carries, so he has telekinesis, but like we don't know any of his story.
Well, we don't know if he does.
He's passing the gene to both kids.
Satan worshiper or something weird like that. But the fact, just think about this. I know people can have, you know, Steve Martin had a kid like 75, or Pacino has a baby at 81. But the fact that this guy had kids like, you know, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, it was probably what, 20? Because Carrie was a senior, she's a senior. Yeah, so at least 23 years apart.
That's a big difference.
From when. That's a big gap.
That's a big gap. So I mean, that's why I said like it's just such a. Listen, obviously they had to connect it somehow. I just think it's stupid. I think like the plot of it, that she's Carrie's sister, so that's the Carrie title because she's Carrie's sister, like long lost sister. That's lame. It should have been Carrie 2, the other one.
The other one.
Something like that.
The other title was called "Say You're Sorry."
Yeah, it's stupid.
I don't know why. But I wonder, again, this is probably, and again, I respect movies that do this, because the other option is to make a movie called, I don't know, so, you know, School's Out, and then have the same exact story, and then it's like, oh, this is Carrie.
Right. Or
at least with this, there is some kind of way to connect it, even though it is, you know, can be shoehorned in a way. I just don't know how else you could connect the two.
How about putting Carrie TOO, Carrie 2.
Oh.
See?
She's Carrie 2.
So, and then randomly, because she didn't know her sister, her name was Carrie.
Her name was Carrie. Her foster parents called her Carrie.
They call her Carrie, and that's it. Now you have Carrie 2. See? Now it fits. There. Okay.
Oh my God, man.
Okay.
So, so this is the burnt down school. We get the flashback about the dad. The flashback about what happened that day with Carrie, and the counselor, you know, tells Rachel, "Oh, this is your dad." And she's like, "No, that's not my dad. My dad left when I was 3 months old. This is who he is," and blah 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 blah. But
which is the truth though, because he did leave. So it's not like she, like the fact that she's like saying, "No, I can't be my dad." Why not? Your dad left when you're 2 years old, but this is your dad. Like, you know, like
yeah. It's not like the other guy was in her life, like the other dad that, you know, then she probably would have went to him when all the stuff went down if he was still around. No, it was because it was the guy that was probably 50-something years old.
So does the mom know that Carrie was also his daughter? Like, does she know about Carrie? I mean, first of all.
No, she's kind of shocked when she finds out.
Which, I mean, a girl burns down the entire school. That's national news. Like, I mean, everybody should know that in the same town that you're.
No, she knew the story. She didn't know that she didn't know that they had Yeah, they didn't know. Yeah, she didn't
Well,
know that
why
the
did why did
father.
so again, a girl burns down the school like a student. You don't know the parents. Like the parents are not like on the interviews. The parents, the pictures will say, "Hey, this is these like they're involved. Your child,
Oh no, but
shoot."
I don't think Carrie's dad in the. I haven't seen the original.
I
A
don't
long time,
remember
so I
either.
can't be 100%. But I'm
Okay.
saying, like, I don't know if maybe maybe the dad was just this whack job that was somehow sleeping with multiple women, multiple crazy women.
Oh, so he might. I don't
I
even
don't.
remember him in the movie. So maybe he wasn't in the first
I
movie.
don't- yeah, he
Okay.
probably wasn't in
Because
the
the mom was
picture at
crazy in
all.
the first movie, right? Like the mom was like
She
overly
was, yeah.
religious. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So now we get Eric's. I guess it's Eric's. I wrote down it's Eric's dad when they're in the
It is.
office
It is.
and
It
the
is his
cops
dad.
ready. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, you know what? If he's gonna take the fall, then all the boys are gonna take the fall." And it's like,
And he starts spitting their names out.
Oh, his dad was the lawyer, dude. Yeah, the dad's
Yes.
the lawyer.
That's
The
a lawyer.
mayor comes in, who's probably like an uncle or something, and
Oh.
he like ends it. And
Or
everybody shuts up, and it's over.
But the kid mentioned all the kids' names. He said all the kids' names that were
Yeah,
involved. He squealed on everybody. Like he didn't like easily. The father was saying, "Listen, you take him down, and he's gonna take all these other ones." He didn't have to name any names, even though they probably knew who
He
it
was like,
was.
These are 5 of the most
Yes.
prominent families in town.
Well,
It's like,
the mayor
whoa.
knows that all these families are probably paying a lot of money, so they're like, "Yeah, you get away whatever you want." It almost sounds like that story. Wasn't there a murder recently? The guy from South Carolina, he was like a hedge broker, a hedge fund
Oh
broker.
yeah. Oh yeah, the same thing. Yeah, dude.
Same
the
exact.
kid totals a car.
The kid told
and-
the maid was dead, found dead. I watched the documentary on it.
But the first death,
Yes.
the Murdoch family.
Yeah, Murdoch.
Dude, the first death when the kid was like drunk and he
Yes.
totaled the car and like one
Yes.
of the kids got. And then the freaking grandpa's the judge and gets the
Yes.
road cleared in 30 minutes. Like,
If you watch
nuts.
the documentary is crazy because they literally
I watched
talk about
it was wild.
and they talk about multiple crimes this family's done over the years, and they got away with
Mhm.
every single one of them. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
it's
insane. Okay, well that's
But yeah,
reminding
kind of
me
that
of
same
this.
thing in a small town. That's the
Yeah.
fear of being in a small town. Even my town, 30,000 people we had, but it was like if you were hanging out with the wrestlers and you got in trouble and you were friends with them, you were fine. But
Yeah.
if you weren't with them and you were just walking around, they're gonna like bust your balls. So yeah, no, oh man. So now Jesse wants Rachel to go to the game on Friday. She's never been to a game before, and this one Mark is like, "Hey man, I'll let you." You can take my house, take my parents' summer house.
Well,
And his line goes,
Before he
Yeah.
does that, he talks to the other girls. So how are we going to stop this or something like that? And he comes up with another plan. Like all these plans, like all these things are coming up, his plans that he makes up, come to the house. And so he says, I got a plan. Like, and they don't tell you what it is yet.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, he goes to him and says, hey, I want to make friends. I want to apologize here. Take
he
this.
says, "Hey man, we've been friends since we were dumping in our drawers. Here's my mom's lake house." All right.
Well, once you say that, then it's like, oh yeah, we were.
I guess I got to take him back. And then Jesse is kind of cool with him. I'm like, dude, this guy, you're a decent guy. It seems like, get away from these assholes.
Yeah, no. Like I said, he had to have known. I mean, like that. I think you said it. This is not the first time they videotaped or something like that. So I mean, if these guys are scoring points, they're hiding cameras all the time. Especially if he has an empty lake house, that's part of the plan they have with all these girls. Some of them were brought there. So yeah, it's shame on Jesse for falling for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh my god, how about the mall? This mall must have been like the richest mall because they look down upon people.
Oh.
Like at the makeup store. Oh my god, dude, that lady just like staring at her and like looking her up and down.
But what surprised me though is when they start doing the makeup thing, which reminded me of again, she's all that doing the makeup on her.
Oh yeah.
The fact that she stole it, I thought when she says I don't have the money, I thought the girl was going to show how rich she is and like, yeah, just put it on my card or put it on my dad's card or something like that. Like the fact that she stole it. Like, so maybe they're not as rich as they think. They're just, creepy kids, doing, constantly.
No, they are rich. Rich people do that. They'll do it because if they get caught, they're going to be in trouble. Because they're not going to get in trouble. Because she talks to the lady like, "Oh, hi, Mrs. So and So. This is my friend from school. Can she just try this on?" And then what does she do? She starts trashing Tracy. to like kind of like, oh yeah, we should be buddies. How about you go to the party after the big game? It's gonna be oh okay, cool, let's do it.
And then we got to see a 10-minute makeup tutorial afterwards of her putting
Oh
makeup
my
on her.
God.
I mean, like that was ridiculous. Like
$22.50 for makeup in '99. That's insane. What would that
No, but-
be now?
But she's home in the mirror, and we're watching her put on the eyeshadow, and we're watching her put on the lipstick, and we're watching her put on this, and then she takes everything off again, and then she's like, why do we have to see a makeup montage?
We kind of, you know what that is? Like, I know it's way too long, but it's like just a hook, line, and sinker. Like she is fully integrated into this. But at least later, she is cool with Arnie, right? Like the other, hey Arnie, yeah, you can come in a little bit. How about 5 years? And then she's like, Arnie, I'll try to get you in.
She was never. I don't think she was ever away from. Like, I don't think she was fully in. I think really, again, it's all about Jesse, right? It was all about the guy.
Yeah.
So like, even going to the party, like she could care less about the girls. Like in a lot of these movies, you know, the girl wants to be part of the girl group. Here, I don't think she really cares to be in a girls group. It's just that, oh, Jesse's gonna be there. Whatever Jesse wants, he's gonna get, kind of thing. Like, you know, she's gonna. So
I
think
cool
that's
with everyone. That's why his characters are the same. This and Dazed and Confused in a sense.
Yeah.
Because in Dazed and Confused, he was best friends with the jocks and the assholes. He wanted to hang out with.
He was a good guy.
Even like the popular girls. Oh, and then the other people. You know.
And he helped the freshmen. Like he was
very
always
similar.
No, he has that look to him, right? He's got like, I think certain guys, like the one that looked like Kevin Dillon, like he just looks like a psychopath, right? You know, and I don't think Jesse, you know, he has that look to him that I think he has to play the nice guy, right? He has that nice guy look to him, and I think that's the difference. You know, like it's just like look at Ben Stiller in Dazed and Confused. Like he looked like a psychopath. You know, he was not
Ben
Oh,
Affleck.
not Ben Stiller.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ben
same
Affleck.
thing. Ben.
Ben Affleck. Ben Stiller would have been great.
Well,
Ben Affleck's such an asshole.
Oh, 100%.
Wooderson, right? Was
Yeah.
that his name? No,
Oh, my
what was
gosh.
his name? Wooderson.
He was a psychopath. For the longest time though, I didn't realize it was Ben Affleck. Like he did such a good role. Like it was so different for him. But yeah, douche.
So now Mark, they're at the summer house. We talked about that scene.
The dramatic sex scene. It was such a dramatic sex scene. Like it was like
dramatic, yeah.
So it's just so weird. It was just weird. Again, this is high school. Whether she's 18 or not, it was just like it was a weird sex scene. Like again, like they've been dating for a long time and they just got married and now she's ready to give it up. Like that's how like they made it, and it was like I don't know. It was just weird.
And if he was the mastermind, dude, it'd be like he's such a psycho because he's going to take off her bra. It's taking not forever, but she feels awkward. And he's like, honestly, we don't have to do this.
Oh,
and then she just like
immediately
worked on her because she wanted him so bad.
Well, she trusted him so much. Like he's saying all the right things, right? Like, oh, you know, we could wait. And to me, like again, if a girl is that hesitant and you're a guy that's saying, oh, don't worry about it, I respect you for waiting, all that stuff, that's gonna push the girl even more, right? Because you know they want to feel trusted, they want to feel respected, and unfortunately, when guys do that, they'll trick them a lot of times. But I think that's what gets the girls. They feel safe, and so he made her feel so safe that it worked. Because she literally, the minute he said that, she jumped right on him. Like you know, like 2 seconds ago, she was like, "No, I don't feel comfortable." He says that line, and she quickly like just fell and just went right for it. So
quick transition, and
it really was.
About, like after they do it, they're laying there, and it looks like they're sleeping, and then we see like a shadowy figure outside the door, which I kind of just forgot about until I just read that, because at the end of the movie, it looked like the camera was moving in some of the things that they were filming. Was that guy in the room? Or was it a hidden camera? Because there was different shots on that videotape.
There was,
like we saw different angles. And why would I would assume it's Mark? Why would anybody have to be at the house?
Yeah, you know what? He was probably in a closet or something like that. Yeah, it's really. I mean, that's probably what he was doing because because there was different angles. I don't think that. And you know what? Back then, I don't know if they had hidden cameras really. You know, like so it was probably had to be.
They did, but not. I know these rich kids, but just the camera moves the shots.
Yeah.
Like on the bed, the way you see them.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude. But no, this is the next scene you mentioned earlier. Dude, Rachel sneaks back in. She's very like almost tiptoeing, even though she's not in the house yet. She just goes through her window, which she sets up like a ramp to be able to walk into it. And then he's just waiting there. Like, how long was that dad waiting there, like practicing?
And why was
Honey,
he so
stand
mad?
over here. You're gonna practice. You're gonna pretend to be Rachel. Climb in the window.
You know what though? Like she wasn't really phased by it, so I don't think he does things like that a lot. I just think he's just like, you know, like he's a creep and jerk. I don't think he really hits her because the mom also seemed very shocked that he did that. And really, it didn't faze Rachel at all. You know, so like I don't think it's something. I just think like, you know, I think she was so on cloud 9 after what she just did that doesn't matter what the father did. She was numb to it.
Yeah, and now she's grounded. Oh, but I have to go to the game on Friday.
Wait. Grounded for a week. What is a week? You have school during a week. I mean, so what's grounded for a week? That's a big punishment. You're grounded for 7 days. I mean, like, you know, because I don't think he knew
one friend.
One friend,
she has 2 friends, Arnold and now Jesse.
And clearly, she never leaves the house because, you know, he was angry because she stayed out late. But like, he didn't know about the football game, so grounded for a week. So during the week, she probably doesn't do anything. So just okay, you're grounded for 1 weekend. That's a big punishment. I was grounded for a whole summer when I was a kid. I mean, you know, like that's a punishment.
What did you do?
I did a lot of bad things.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think of what I forgot which one. I was grounded for a summer that I had to go. I went to work with my mom. She used to work at a nursing home, so I basically volunteered at a nursing home all summer. Oh yeah. Fun. I was also grounded for Halloween one year. I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating.
Oh, that's rough.
I had a tough mom. I mean, like, you know, when I was bad, like she was one that if she gave you like a punishment, she stood by it. Like too many moms will like say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to ground you for Halloween," and then, "All right, fine, you can go." Like my mom, if she grounded you, you're grounded.
That's amazing. So now we get so Jesse shows up to the game. And all of his psycho friends are shaving their heads, like, which that's what made that end scene scarier. Just thinking about, like, man, they look very like. I feel like I'm watching
American History X.
Ed Norton.
American History X.
Dude,
yeah,
they
look, and you know what? It made me think like, why don't more schools do this? Like, because they, you know, imagine playing a team that they all shave their head like that. Like they look like psychopaths. Like that's something like even like a wrestling team, the whole team shave their heads. Like that's pretty intimidating, right? Like, you know, like
that's intimidating wrestling, but you're wearing a helmet. So do you know what's funny? You mentioned that there's a story. I forgot what teams they were, like from 2 years ago. I don't know if it was Ohio State playing somebody, but they said they knew they were going to destroy the team they were playing because they were like barking and growling like in the tunnel. And they were like, we're going to kick the shit out of this team because they think they need to do that to get on our level.
Yeah, but you're wearing a helmet, but like walk out of the tunnel with the helmets off. Imagine seeing a team come out with the helmets off, all with a shaved head. That's pretty psychotic, right? You know, like, so, and then you have the one preppy that had his long hair that didn't cut his hair. I mean, and imagine the coach did it. So you have the coach shaving his head and the players talking about a psych out. Like that's pretty psychotic if a team did that.
That would be pretty. Yeah, if they could show it, yes, that would be something.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually you run out with your helmet on.
Okay.
So you're running, you're holding your helmet.
Yeah, but that's not a rule. Take it off and you come out with the helmet off. That's all.
And very shiny.
You know what?
Like a very sunny day. You're like,
to make it even crazier, the cheerleaders shave their head.
Whoa.
So now you have the cheerleaders, the coaches, and the players. Now your team comes in there. I don't know if I want to play that team.
Hi. Oh my god, dude. So now we have. Oh yeah, so Jesse at the end, they're shaving their heads. Cut back to the mental hospital. So now she wants to sneak out the mom. And this we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier.
Okay. So first of all, gum on the door.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't. Like,
because it was like a trigger, and what the gum would just make it stick. I don't understand.
Correct. Like when they open the door, it would pull the gum part. But like I would think that security would be a little bit more high tech, considering that
There's
have
no
a plate.
Security at that gate. There should be a security anytime you can get
100%. There should be
security to get inside. There's somebody,
Correct.
but not to get out of the whole place.
It should be way harder. Plus, the security inside. I mean, she easily sneaks her out. Like it was
That was
that
ridiculous.
easy. So a lot of those patients that, even though they might be a little crazy, they're smart enough probably to be able to sneak out. If they can sneak out that way, the security's not that good.
They were smart enough to help. They understood to
They
help.
did.
Slam their heads on the windows.
You look like a Muppet just now.
I guess that was kind of like a Kermit with the when he throws their arms up.
Yeah.
So now Rachel's listening to the football game on the radio, and then this is like when we hear we get to the end of the game. But here's the biggest thing. I almost mentioned it earlier, but Brad. So this was the biggest game to his life because all the universities were gonna be there. It was just King's University. So on a play in the first quarter, he throws his forearm into a guy's throat. He can't breathe. He gets ejected from the game. So your career meant so much, and you're gonna do that. And so you're telling me he broke his arm? Because then later
I know he has a
cast on his arm.
Yeah.
He's in no pain after he does this.
Yeah. Well, he was probably drunk also, but yeah. I mean, and you're right. I mean, so the scouts see a dirty play, and that's what scouts. So yeah. So I guess he's not going to King's College.
I guess he's not. Well, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah.
At all.
That's true. So, yeah. I mean,
he doesn't have the balls to go to college.
Oh my! You know what? This is like the third movie we've watched this year that had some kind of testicle thing going on. We had Troll 4 or whatever
Troll
it was.
4. What did we do?
The guy, the troll,
Slime Ball-orama?
No, not Troll.
Oh, yes.
Leprechaun.
Yes.
Leprechaun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? There was Leprechaun. It was, and then the
Slime Ball?
No, was Slime Ball?
No. Peen was Leprechaun 4 in space.
Okay, then what was the other one? It was one before that one.
I don't know. Was it? Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't
out in the same type of thing.
Yeah, because we said there's a second one we saw that, and I can't remember. But now there's a third one where, I mean, like, that was pretty brutal. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. So again, all the kills.
If you know, let us know at Sequels Only. What was the other one we covered this year? I was thinking of just that type of scene.
You mentioned it.
I was thinking of Slime Ball-orama. That would be my guess. Wasn't that?
You mentioned it during Troll. Not Troll. I keep saying that. Leprechaun, because again, Leprechaun, Troll, the same thing. So it was during Leprechaun. You mentioned it. You said, "Oh, this is the second movie we saw that had something to do with that," and I can't remember.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
What could that have been? It wasn't Messengers 2, wasn't Speed 2, right?
You know what? I say put it to the listeners, and whoever listener tells us, they get a hall pass.
Oh, hall pass to pick a movie. That's a good one. All right, cool. You heard it, guys. And so at Sequels Only, let us know what that was. So now, oh yeah, and then how about the fact that Brad was wearing a do-rag? That was wild. He was wearing a freaking do-rag, and I'm like, no way. And then he gets ejected. Broken arm later. So Rachel's listening to the radio. They're down 9-3 or whatever it was, or 10-6. She's like, I gotta get down there. She sneaks out the window. I don't care. Let's go. She gets there just in time, like you said earlier. She gets
right to the field. Right. And now this is a big game. It's probably packed. Yeah, literally right on the field, right next to the bench. Not even on the field. Like she's almost on the field, where she was.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
Do you think they purposely didn't make him the quarterback because he was already the quarterback in Dazed and Confused? Because it was very silly that they had him as like this very lanky receiver. They throw up a Hail Mary, he catches it, and then from that, he's getting to meet with they did nothing the whole game. They throw a bomb to him. Hey man, we like to, the scout from King's College is here and he wants to talk to you. It's like, what?
Well, honestly, I wasn't even sure what position he played. Because once they had all the helmets on, I realized that, but like for the longest time, I thought he was the quarterback because like he literally looks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he looks like who? So who was the quarterback in the team?
We didn't meet. They would have. I'm sure they would have showed us if it was Mark or if it was one of the people.
He was too big to be a quarterback. Like he was like a linebacker or something like that. So like
he was a nutty linebacker, of course.
Oh, easily
outside linebacker, probably nut. But no, they didn't let us know. But yeah, he catches that bomb. the college scouts waiting. So he tells his buddy, a guy that really didn't have any lines. He was the one with the camcorder throughout of the movie. But he goes, "Hey man, I gotta talk to this scout. Can you let Rachel know that I'll be
Oh
out
my
in a few
gosh.
minutes and I'll take her to the party?" And I do love when the girls, "Oh come on, Rachel, it'll be fine. Let's go." The line in the song that starts in the car, it's all about It's called
backstabbing.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But you know what the funny thing is also is after they shaved their heads, they all looked alike. They literally, they all had the same.
Oh, I know, it killed it. Mark and the other guy looked exactly alike.
They really did. I was getting confused because they're all like kind of like stocky and like they're all like looked the same. And it was like I was getting confused who was who at that point because like they were dancing and moving around like, and I couldn't figure out like I'm like which one's the real bad guy because they all look very similar. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, that was pretty. And then how far is this lake house, summer house? Because it's pitch dark by the time they get there, and it wouldn't be something that would be really that far because when Tracy convinces him to come, which is nuts, dude. When they wrote like devils because they played the devils. And they were like, "Devils suck it, devils," and drew penises on the car and everything. And when she had the spray can in her hand, I'm like, "Whoa!"
But think about how, first of all, how big the house is. I mean, it was massive.
Yeah.
How many students were there? The game just ended. Like it like by the time that she gets there, it looks like the game like the party's been going on for a long time.
They have the deadbeat friends. I'm sure they have the deadbeat non-football friends that they're like, "Hey, dude, go start the party."
I guess. I mean, like it was insane. The house was huge. I mean, they had automatic pool cover. I mean, like this house was huge. So yeah.
So Arnold shows up to the party. We talked about him trying to get in, but I do love him getting drunk on the top of a car.
Well, he didn't. Well, I didn't know that was him at first. So like when we said he was already there, but he was like, laying on top of the car, flying around, and like that was just like ridiculous.
So somebody's driving him sober just so he could drink on the top. That's what it
and
seemed like it was.
He says
does have the best line at the end of the movie.
But he also says, "Let's do it again." So he was going back on there to listen.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of nowhere. There's not much to do out there. So like I guess that's like so yeah.
But at the end, he does have a great line when he's like, "Oh man, I missed a killer party."
As flames are going up everywhere, and he's like, it's
I do hate that Rachel gets to the party, and again, not everybody's obviously in on it, but it seems like they probably sort of are. Like I'm sure
the looks that she gets when she first gets there.
Yes, dude. Like it's like she's a joke. Like the one guy's like drinking.
But even the ones that were dancing, like there was a couple that was dancing and they were like staring at her. Like now they all obviously know that she's kind of with the other guy. So like you would think they would be a little bit more like, like, okay, like, but like they still like gave her looks. None of them knew her. Not one person knew her there.
Yeah. Like if you're boys with Jesse and you know Jesse's into her, would you really give her looks? Wouldn't you be like, all right, cool. I'm going to be a good guy. I like Jesse. He's a good guy. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
And then Tracy giving him a ride. Hey, before we go there, I have to stop and change. She does not change.
Well, she does change.
Into that.
Well, she does change.
Well, she does. She does change. But I'm saying she goes into the closet and she's like, I got to change. And he's like, come on, we're going to miss the party. And then she comes out and she's in the same outfit. And then she does like a little change.
But you know what though? Again,
no interest, dude.
This is the moment where I'm like, all right, you know what? He's into her because I mean, like every opportunity. I mean, she looked good and like and he was like, just let's go. Like he was like totally ignoring her.
Inside?
Well,
why did he go inside?
He is stupid. I mean, he definitely is not the smartest. He knew this girl was after him the entire time. That's the one person you need a ride from is gonna be her. Like you're asking for trouble.
There's not. Well, there were no other cars. It was almost like that scout had a lot of questions.
Well, everybody's at the party. I mean, like you're telling me not one person waited for him except for her. Like no one, like none of his friends, the whole football team. Like he just scored the winning touchdown. No one waited with him.
That was part of the plan. That was the mastermind plan that
stole him.
His buddies left him.
To stall.
Yeah. So Tracy can have that. But yeah, the fact that he went inside.
Yeah.
Again, I know you can't have to add too much, but that's the first thing I thought, and I'm like, why would he go inside?
Knowing that she's changing, he could have waited in the car.
She's in the bath. Exactly.
Yeah. No.
So dumb.
Yeah.
But all his friends are nuts, man. Like how crazy they look in this scene. Come on, Rachel, get on the dance floor. Mark's like kind of dancing with her. They're all dancing, and then when they start putting the tape, they get the tape queued up. I don't even know what TV system that is. It's like all on mirrors.
It's
everywhere.
like an IMAX theater almost. Like it's like a huge like screen. Insane. They were watching the football game first. Like it was a football game that was on there. But like it was uncomfortable, the scene, because like they clearly were making her drink. She was getting drunk and she was like being passed around, you know, to different players dancing, and she's having a great time. Like it was kind of uncomfortable, you know, that she was in that situation, because you know this happens to probably girls all the time. Right, you know, they get stuck in a party like that, and so like that was a uncomfortable part. But yeah, the fact that they had those big screens, and not for nothing, they're exposing his friend also. Like,
yeah,
so,
dude, that's what I mean. They give the Notebook and exposes Jesse to make him look bad, but I don't get why. Again, this is all about Brad not getting in trouble. At this point, he didn't.
No.
No.
It's not about Brad. It's about the girl. Because the plan was about the girl saying, how are we going to get him away from her? You know, why is he with her? He should be with me, or something like that. And that's when he says, I got a plan. And that's what started the whole thing with the lake house. It had nothing to do with Brad.
No, I know that was her part of it, but I don't think those guys would have done that if it wasn't for the original thing with Brad, because they were already torturing her.
Well, they were already mad at her, I guess, but it had nothing to do. Like Brad wasn't going to get in trouble at this point, so I don't think it was a revenge factor.
They tortured her after the Brad thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Already, like he was kind of in the clear, so they were
correct.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is really about the girl.
Tracy, this elaborate end. That's sick, dude. That's insane.
Well, they also didn't like her this whole time because of Brad. So I think they were just a combination. But yeah, I mean, but the point is also, like, by doing this, their friendship with Jesse would have been done also. Like they didn't even they didn't even care about that.
Dumping in our diapers. Yeah. We've been friends since we were dumping in diapers. I guess that doesn't mean anything to you.
And do they really think that he's going to end up with the other girl after doing all this? Like, this is like, you know, like, so like the plan had maybe a great plan in their eyes, but the outcome was not going to be the outcome they're looking for if it went the way they wanted.
Yeah, exactly, dude. When they start showing, you see the footage of her, like, you know, nude, and she's looking at the book, the room's starting to spin, black and white, and dude, it just gets nuts. Dude, when the doors close, the outside doors close, and when they shatter, it is insane how many from that shatter people die.
Oh,
decapitations happen.
I mean,
the first kid, the camcorder guy. The camcorder guy was the first. You see his head just on the ground.
So, but why did she get tattoos, like the veiny tattoo all over her body, or whatever that was?
I don't know what that was. I don't know. But I do love when the guy was looking at her when the doors did shut and things were shaking.
You see the tattoo?
What is that? And he sees the heart, and then he was the first guy to die. That was pretty cool.
No, that was cool. But then when you see these veins coming out and then it's stay there forever, it kind of like made it to me a little.
I don't
cheesy.
know what that was. That was kind of silly to show that.
It was, because it didn't happen to Carrie. Like, it was a completely different. Like, they just made her look more crazy and evil. But that was a little weird. I don't know why they did that. So Nicole, if you know why those things popped out, let us know.
Yeah, please let us know. But we do get one of the greatest kills in the movie.
The harpoon?
I do feel bad for the counselor.
Oh, the harpoon. Well, it was a double kill. It was a double kill.
That's what I mean. She wasn't trying to kill the counselor. It was the guy getting away, but it goes through him and then right through the door.
No, like I said, this scene, you know, is listen. The movie itself, I think, is okay. Nothing great. If anything, just fast forward to this scene and just watch, like, because I think the kills are pretty crazy.
CDs?
Yeah, I mean,
the CDs of the girl that looked like Tracy just getting dismantled, dude.
No, they were very creative. Like, you know, like, I don't remember like the full prom scene in Carrie. I think it was just a lot of fire, you know, going on. Here, it seemed like every kill was different. Like, every kill was something, which,
like,
again,
a Final Destination. What can we up ourselves with the special effects? Like, even the harpoon, when all of them are like, again, is the dad hunting whales? He has three harpoon guns.
Yeah,
one for each kid. You know,
but who owns a harpoon gun? First of all, like, I mean, that's like, I've
never seen one in person. I've never seen one.
No,
in person.
Why would you? Why would you need to see a harpoon? I mean, so. But I do like the fact that, like, it was almost comical. The three of them upstairs looking for some, like, they're looking for guns or whatever. the
Yeah,
nerdy
yeah.
girl. Like and they were like sticking together. So like it was like, all right, what do we do? Like it was, they're saving the best three for last. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was
But
insane.
right
This
by
whole
the
scene.
pool, dude, when you
Oh,
see the three standing there,
oh my
and you're
gosh.
thinking like, all right, what's gonna happen? And when she makes the girl from Iron Eagles forward with the glasses
Oh my
shatter,
gosh.
and then that makes her turn, point, and pull a trigger, and it goes right through friggin' Brad's. You see everything get taken off,
Yeah.
everything, and it goes into the pool with like a
It's
kerplunk. Like you hear that.
crazy. I mean, like again, the glasses alone like is such a creative thing, right? Like that was, and then yeah, the combination that again, that kill or that combination was total Final Destination, right? It was like one
Oh
reaction
yeah,
to
dude,
another,
yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty crazy. And
And
then,
then Mark shoots her with a flare gun. Oh my god.
but she seemed to be okay, like, like I don't know, like does first of all, well, we're not there yet. We have to get to the pool first, and then I'll
I
talk
know.
about the.
Oh, okay, I know what you're gonna say too. I guarantee we're thinking of the same thing. But no, the flare. She was like sort of bleeding when she went into the
She
pool.
was.
But I'm telling you, I've talked about this
I
scene
know.
in this podcast, which we've been doing this for 6 years now, over 374 ish episodes. And again, this scene haunts me from when I watched it on pay per view when I was a kid. When Mark is in the pool and that cover comes and how fast it is and hits him in the head
Yep.
and he's stuck underneath, frightening.
Well,
Nightmares. That is my nightmare.
there was a movie that came out last year, I think. I actually watched it about these two girls that were swimming, and the pool cover goes over them, and they're stuck underneath it for like 24 hours or something like that. So like
What?
yeah, it came out last year. It was, and then there was a girl that was asking for like their credit card information that could have saved them, but like it was like I'll get you the name. It just came out last year. I just watched it. It was stupid. But,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was in a theater, I think. Like yeah. So
What? A movie
yes,
about that was in the
yes,
theater?
they were undercover in a pool, like they were swimming in a pool, and the cover went over them, and they were stuck in there because it was over. Oh, it was for the weekend, so like they were stuck in there over the It was a whole I'll get you the
Was
movie.
that from the writers of the people in that movie where the two girls climb up the
Oh,
big pole?
it came out at the same time, but yeah,
Oh my god, dude. So yeah, so now so he dies, dude. Oh my god. That's insane.
she rips through it though, right? How did she rip through it? Oh, she
rips through it with the harpoon. She grabs
that's
the
right.
harpoon.
Okay, you're right.
She
Okay,
rips through it. She gets out. She hears her mom screaming. Again, her mom, who's again due to her
Yeah.
mental thing,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
hasn't been around that much. And guess what? She's still not around because her mom's like Satan because she's looking at the lines on her, the veins throughout her body. So she's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, whatever. It'd be great if you wiped her mom away. All right, fine, get out of here. Sends her throws her through the wall.
Yeah, no. Does the mom die or no? Does she end up dying?
No, she doesn't. No. She
Okay.
just says my kid's crazy, right?
Okay.
She says like my kid's crazy.
Yeah.
The devil, Satan, and now now Rachel is finally getting up, and Jesse and Tracy are getting to this party. Walking in, obviously they are, dude. When they show the damage on the ground, which I know we've seen it throughout the scene going on, but when they're looking and just like it's nuts, and she sees Tracy right away, and she kills her.
Why?
Like,
What?
really quick.
Why would you even walk in that house knowing, like, seeing all
I
the
don't know.
fire, the dead? Okay, the minute you see one dead body, or the decapitated head, I'm out of there. Like, I don't care what, like what could possibly possess you to go further, knowing that, well, that could be you real soon. Like, because you have no idea what's going on, right? You right now you're thinking there's a psychopath here. He doesn't know it's her, but there's a psychopath here that's killing everybody. Wouldn't you just turn around and leave? Like, why keep going in there? So, but he's so in love with her after 3 days that
Call 911.
yeah,
Right?
something. Yeah,
Shouldn't
nothing.
be the first thing they do.
Nothing.
No, they walk in, they see that dude, and just this whole scene again. We talked about the twist that we kind of wanted to happen.
Yep.
But I love when she throws the notebook to him, and it opens up right to page 30, or whatever the page was, the right page, and it has her name, 30 points, and she turns on the TV, so she has the power to do a lot of things. She throws Jesse in the air. She can throw anything.
Go ahead.
And she can rewind tapes. But
Correct.
when something falls on her, she can't.
Yes. She can't move. She can't use any of her powers to get that off. Like that to me was the dumbest way for them to get rid of her. Is that she can't? She's pinned down and she can't get out.
What was dumber, the fact that she was able to unscrew 4 things with her mind, and that caused the roof to collapse? Because that's what happened. Because Jesse was standing in that, and you saw these big screws starting to fall out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, she's gonna kill him. And then they make out. They have this moment, like when he says again the same thing. It's almost like in Austin Powers with Will Ferrell when it's like, oh damn, 3 times I got to tell you the truth. This, it's like she's like, no, you don't, and he's like, yes, I do, like 3 different times in this movie, and it works. Oh, and it's like, oh, now we're making out now.
But again, you basically been with her for 3 days. You slept with her just once. There's a massacre, a murder massacre at this house. She's the only one alive, so that should give you a hint that she's probably the one that did all this. Yet you're still like you wouldn't run away. Like you in reality, you don't know this girl. Like you really don't know her. She never had friends. There must be a reason why. She's you're still like in love with her. I mean, he's clearly still in love with her even later on in the movie. So it's like what? Like it just made no sense. Like it would be one thing if they showed like they were dating for a year. So they've been dating for a while, but this is a week, like at tops. So yeah.
He's all Walter.
Listen, he
Walter
gets
got
the
them
dog at
together.
the end. Yeah, he gets the dog at the end. That's how much in love that he's going to care for her dog. It's so stupid.
I'll take care of your aging dog. That's going to cost my family a lot in medical bills. That's how much I love you. But even her, like, so they're getting ready to kiss. The roof collapses on her, and then Jesse won't leave. He's even like grabbing stuff. He lights on fire.
I was going to say he's on fire.
He's still, and he's pretending he's not, which is pretty cool. And he's like clenching, and she's like, no, Jesse. And she takes him and just throws him
Launches
on top
him.
of the pool. So he's not on fire anymore.
Again,
that's her,
can launch
that's her
him,
last act.
but can't launch the wood that's on top of her. But she can launch him.
No rules. Yeah,
that
she
made
can close doors, but she can't lift.
So stupid. That really was stupid. I mean, again, maybe if she didn't have control, but at this point, she has control of everything she's doing, clearly. So she easily could have escaped. Maybe she didn't want to.
Carrie has a very close similarity to Scanners. The Scanners we saw, I don't remember the original Scanners, but definitely the moving things around.
Yeah.
Again, just like that movie, remember the rules?
Yep.
You had all these fights throughout the movie, and then at the end, he's able to make a guy explode. It's like,
yeah.
Hey, why didn't we do this earlier? Same thing with this. Why didn't she, just, hey, get both of us out of here?
Yeah.
I'll lift this off of me. I'll fly us both out of here to safety. But no, we didn't get that. But we did get? We got a 1 year later scene. You're like, oh, what could this be?
Which means
that King's. Yeah.
Okay. Which means the dog's 1 year older.
The dog is 1 year older.
And living at college with him.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. At King's. So we see he's at King's. It's on his shirt. It's on his wall. And the dog's like starting to whine.
Okay. The dog's got to be 15 years old. Okay. First of all, the dog's 15 years old at this point. I mean, the dog was around when she was younger, and now so the dog is 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, the window flies open. He gets up. He closes it, and then she's there. She comes through the window.
This whole scene, I honestly don't understand at all. I don't understand what happens at the end.
Keep going.
Okay, it just like was he hallucinating all this? Was it like just in his? I don't know, like if it was real, because even like what was the point of the fading away of her turning what she turned to stone or old or whatever it was.
She turned into like an old creature.
Yeah. Like, what is that? Like, they don't like the ending did not explain anything. Like, it was like a weird ending. Like, I like it would have been better if he has a candle there, and all of a sudden the candle lit fire out of the blue, right? Like something like that. Like, all right, she's still with me or something like that.
It's like
or something. But to have her turn to a creature and then like crumble, like it just made no sense.
Yeah, she looked hideous. She looked like there was something wrong with it. She looked like Like, yeah, like she was obviously dead for a year. That's what she kind of looked like.
She looked like
But
these
that's
these
what we
creatures
get,
from
like we
Game
get
of Thrones.
that nightmare,
Yeah,
and he wakes
that's
up.
the end.
So he has a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But give us an explanation what that was. Like, I mean, like it's one thing to see her, but like, why turn to an alien or creature and then
But,
crumble? Like, yeah.
well, that was a nightmare he was having. But why is he having that nightmare? Why do we have to? In his nightmare, she's like a like a like a creature. She turns into like this
Well,
green like creature that's kind of folded into itself. I
wait,
don't know.
he's also in college now, a year later, and he's still thinking about her. He knew her for 4 days. Like he knew her for 4 days.
That's 4
He's
days
in
of his life.
he's in college, and you know, a year later, so he's meeting tons of girls there, and he's still thinking about her.
Is he? His Walter. What do? You bring a date back? Oh, who's this? This is
Okay.
Sorry.
You also know the dog's probably crapping and peeing in the room all the time because he's too old that he's not going to make it outside. Like, I mean, like that dog's a burden at this point for him. I mean, it's not even his dog. I mean, really,
How
it's
are
like
you able to have he has that in a regular dorm.
That's
No
what
way
I
you get a
mean.
Dog
And you
in a
know he's
regular
not.
dorm, and it's a single
Okay.
bed, so he's
And
not even sharing.
The dog is what, like a basset hound? So they don't walk that fast.
Yeah.
So how for the dog to be 15? How long do you think it takes the dog to get outside, go down the stairs, and get outside?
Man.
It's, I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
It's cutting
So
into studying time for this kid.
that's what. Listen,
Oh man.
you know it smells like old dog there, so that's why like when girls go there, they're like, oh, never mind, and they probably just leave because it probably reeks in that room.
And it works for him. For him, he's probably like, I want this dog to live forever because I want to think of Rachel
God.
forever.
So
But as soon as
stupid.
that dog's gone, he's gonna be swimming in it.
So stupid. So stupid.
But that was Carrie 2. Nicole, thank you so much for recommending us cover that. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, happy belated birthday. So, Jamie, I don't know what to say about this movie, but I feel like the most of the movies we cover, I know what you would say at the end. This, after talking to you, I don't know. Would you recommend somebody to watch this movie?
I would recommend someone to watch the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, to me, again, I don't think the movie's great. I don't think she was, I don't know. I just don't think the movie was that great. But the last, the party scene at the end of the movie is so insane that I think that's worth watching because the deaths are great. I mean, if you think about it, really, like for a Carrie movie or a horror movie, there's really nothing going on except for the first 5 minutes when she jumps off the building. There's really, literally no horror in the movie until the end.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly,
like, so it's like, I mean, even like the you would think the scary part when they're pranking her at her house would be a little bit more scary, and it wasn't. It was like more silly. And so like I feel like, like if you're looking for a horror movie, this is not it. But if you're looking for like, you want to see a good like a horror scene, I guess, and even then it was kind of comical, like the again the way the deaths were, like they were gross and horror-ish, but they were like more of a comedy because they're like crazy deaths, So I think I would say go to YouTube, type in Carrie 2 the party scene, and that's all you need to watch.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't know if it's maybe like the way the movies we covered so far this year, but I think also it was like one of those movies I do remember watching like when it first came out, and it felt the same, which is good, especially when you're getting older and you watch movies even like from 10, 15 years ago and you're like, oh man, how's this? And it's like, whoa, this is kind of the same thing. But
did you watch the Carrie remake?
I just found that was the thing.
Oh, okay.
That came out 3 years after this. That's nuts. I don't even remember. And I looked up the cast. I think there was only one name that I knew in it, and it was an older actress. I don't know, but yeah. Oh man. So that was Carrie 2. Next up, it's finally time, guys. Friday the 13th is in 2 weeks, and for the last few, because there's 12 sequels or 11 sequels, and we have covered 9 of them, and most of them we talked to people. Most of the movies we talked to multiple people. I think 3 or 4 people that worked on part 7, 3 or 4 people that worked on part 8. So it's been amazing. And then we just got to the point we just weren't getting lucky for the last 2 times that we did it. So we just said, hey, let's do Jason X. And then luckily we talked to somebody for Jason X, the script supervisor. But for this, Jamie nailed it, man. Russell Todd, we're going to be able to cover Baghead Jason. You're really neat. Friday the 13th Part 2. You gotta watch it again for Friday the 13th. But before that, Russell Todd, actor, awesome guy. What an amazing career that he's had. Just for being in just a seminal part of the franchise. He's the first person that dies from Jason by a machete. And it was cool because Russell's first horror movie that he did, that came out like a year before this, he died by machete in that movie too. And then he was also in Chopping Mall, which is like such a cult classic. We talked about him transitioning and working with it was funny because I just looked at it in my notebook. Charles Pappert, which I know the name now, he became a Steadicam operating agent because that wasn't a thing. So Russell started his own like firm. He was doing that for a while, and then he just got back into acting a few years ago. He's having a lot of fun with it. Cool guy. Great story about working with Sharon Stone in an international commercial that did the joke of her uncrossing her legs. But yeah, so really cool. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.